Holidays are supposed to be a time surrounded by love and family, right? Well, 19-year-old Rachel says her Christmas night ended with her alone in her room writing to me after her mother ruined yet another family celebration. She said in part, "Dr. Phil, you are my family's only hope. I'm scared for my mom. She's going to end up dead or in prison." By morning, Rachel was frantically calling 911 while her mother lay unconscious and unresponsive.
911.
I don't know what's going on.
What's your
I need
name?
an ambulance.
Where in the house is she in?
She is in the living room.
Is she coming around?
No, she's just laying there.
Well, Andrea was rushed to the ER where she was told that if she didn't put a stop to her reckless behavior immediately, she would be dead by the end of the year. So what's going on with this former preschool teacher and PTA mom who taught Sunday school and drove carpool to Rachel's school? Well, according to Rachel, her mother is a pill-popping alcoholic who ruined her childhood. And that carpool Andrea drove? Well, Rachel says that was just one example of how her mother was a downright embarrassment. Rachel claims she was forced to wrestle her mother's car keys from her in the school parking lot so she could drive herself and her friends home, and she didn't even have a license. Because Andrea was too drunk to drive, she had to do it. But there's more to this story, and Rachel and her family have no idea of what all is going on. Andrea confessed to us that she's been leading a whole secret life filled with serious crime, some of which could land her in prison. She says she needs to come clean to her family, and today she'll get that chance. But first, Rachel says her mother has done so much damage to her and her family, she really doesn't know if she can ever forgive her.
Now I'll start to feel better.
My mom is a pill addict and an alcoholic, and she spends just about every day drinking and taking pills.
I'm feeling really weak. I need to drink really bad.
My mom is often passed out on the sofa or in her bed. I have found her passed out on her bathroom floor with a box of wine sitting right next to her. One time I walked in and found my mom passed out on the toilet, not responsive. I fear every day that I'm going to come home and find her dead. I don't want to come home and just find wine boxes everywhere and have a drunk mom just stumbling around. My mom completely took my childhood away because of her drinking. When I was in 5th grade, she came to my school to visit me. We were in the lunchroom and she got up and started singing and dancing. That was really humiliating for me because I was known as the girl with the drunk mom. My mom would show up to pick me and our carpool friend up, and she would be drunk. There were times where I had to drive because I didn't want there to be an accident. I only had a learner's permit. My mom has managed to ruin every single birthday, holiday, and family event. My mom showed up to my brother's college graduation drunk.
911.
I don't know what's going on.
What's your
I need an
name?
ambulance.
My mom has been in the hospital 3 times because of her drinking.
Where in the house is she in?
She is in the living room.
Is she coming around?
No, she's just laying there.
One time my mom was really drunk and she fell and hit her head on the corner of a table. Another time she stole rubbing alcohol from my brother's house and drank that and was rushed to the hospital. The day after Christmas, my mom had a seizure due to alcohol withdrawals. I instantly thought that my mom was dying. Even after having a near-death experience, she still drinks. My mom still does not get it.
But the years of embarrassment don't stop there. Andrea's been arrested 3 times. Once for driving her car into her neighbor's front yard when she was, you guessed it, drunk.
I will sip on this until it's gone.
My mom's drinking is so out of control that she's been arrested several times. 3 of the times I actually witnessed it. One time my mom got arrested for a DUI in my own neighborhood.
I got in my car, I hit another car, and I hit 2 or 3 mailboxes before I was in the ditch.
I had people texting me what was going on with my mom. When we got there, she was in handcuffs.
The PTA mom goes to jail. Unbelievable.
Another time, she actually drank before she went to a probation meeting and they arrested her there. It's ridiculous. You're supposed to be at your best. Because my dad has cut her off, she's resorted to shoplifting and she's been arrested for that too. One time, my mom was caught shoplifting on camera and the police officers showed up at 3 in the morning to arrest her. When my neighborhood watches my mom walk out of her house in handcuffs, that's really embarrassing to me. I'm worried about you. Dad's worried about you. Everyone's worried about you. And I just want it to stop.
I'm sorry.
But you always say that. Even after all the arrests and everything that she's put our family through, she just blames everyone else for her problems. Unless she gets help, I feel like our family would be much better off if my dad did divorce her.
Okay, Rachel, it's good to meet you. I'm sorry for the circumstance.
Yeah.
When was your first recollection that your family, your mother, this dynamic was different than the other kids in school?
Probably when I was in 5th grade and she showed up drunk to school and on my birthday and she was like dancing and singing in the cafeteria. I didn't want to be known as the girl with the drunk mom and it was really embarrassing to me. I feel like I don't have a mom anymore. I just feel like she's some lady that lives at the house and eats the food and watches our TV.
And when celebrations would come up, birthdays, Christmas, any kind of celebration where most kids were like wide-eyed and excited, you looked at those with dread because you knew this is just a train wreck coming.
Yes, sir. I knew she was going to be drunk. And if she did anything sneaky, I would go tell my dad and be like, can you go check her purse? I think that she snuck wine in. And my dad would check it, and sure enough, there'd be wine.
It broke my heart to read your letter to me because I realized that you wrote it on Christmas night.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read this for us.
Dr. Phil, my name is Rachel. I'm 19 years old. I would never have thought I would be writing to you, but at this point, you are my family's only hope. My mother is an alcoholic and a pill addict. We don't think she will stop. She's been arrested 3 times for DUI, shoplifting, probation violation. She would pick me and my friends up from school while she was drunk. I had to pull her out of the bathtub because she was so messed up that she slipped under the water and was about to die. She threatened my brother with a knife when he tried to prevent her from driving drunk. She was drunk every birthday, holiday, celebration. She was drunk for all school events, including high school graduations and college graduations. She was drunk on my brother's wedding day, and she's just out of control. She lies at AA meetings and will grab a chip and say she's been sober for a month, but in reality, she drank that morning. I'm scared for my mom. I'm scared she's going to end up dead or in prison. Please help my mom and our family.
Why write to me?
Because I figured you'd know how to help her, and I watched your show all the time, and I saw like all of the good outcomes that people have had, and I was like, wow, wouldn't that be so great if my mom could just be better?
We're going to take a break, and next, from visits to the ER and a 30-day stint in the county jail to being told she will die within the year, nothing has stopped her, nothing has slowed down Andrea's drinking. We're going to meet her after the break.
When I don't drink, I get sick. The day after Christmas, I had a seizure. I nearly bit my tongue off. It was almost split.
And later, one would think being locked up would have been a wake-up call for Andrea, but it wasn't.
I got this wine. I shoplifted it yesterday.
I didn't know that was going on still.
Oh, there's more.
Monday, a social media prank with deadly consequences.
I found him in his closet. He was so young, he was only 11.
The exclusive details.
So we heard this girl was going to kill herself in this prank, and then a friend said, oh my God, she did it.
The shocking interview.
It was intentional. The next day, she went to school as everything was normal.
You think this girl actually wanted your son to kill himself?
Then on Tuesday,
Kelly says for 12 years she was her father's sex slave wife.
where was her mother?
I'm done.
No, you're not done. Your daughter is here. Don't you walk out on her again.
That's Tuesday.
Because my mom doesn't have any money to buy alcohol, she has been stealing from people in our family. My mom won't admit it, but I know that she has stolen money from me. Because of that, I had to hide my money in jewelry, and I even had a safe for it. This past Christmas, my dad gave my mom some money so that she could buy some Christmas presents. She spent all the money on alcohol. And no surprise, she did the same thing for my birthday. When my mom is confronted about these things, she hardly ever admits it. My mom fails to realize that everybody knows what's going on and we can all see through her lies. That's just sad.
Imagine being in the 5th grade and having your mother show up to your school birthday celebration sloshed, drunkenly singing and dancing in front of your entire lunchroom, leaving you forever known as the girl with the drunk mom. It's been 9 years since that humiliating event, and according to Rachel, her mother Andrea is still getting embarrassingly intoxicated, and she still feels the pain of that as though it happened yesterday. But now she desperately wants help because her mom is trying to hide all of this from her husband and her children and actually thinks she's succeeding. Take a look.
Drinking wine soothes me because there's constantly stuff going on in my head. This is where I usually hide my alcohol. I'm an alcoholic and a liar. I hide all of my drinking from my family, and I have become very sneaky. I would store my hidden alcohol in this cabinet or in this drawer. I would put it in the water bottles because it was clear. I've stolen from my husband. I stole from my in-laws, and I did the same thing from my own mother. I just threw up quite a bit because I haven't had any alcohol for a couple of days, and now I need it. The day after Christmas, I had a seizure from not drinking, and my daughter had to call 911.
911? I don't know what's going on. What's your name? An ambulance.
I nearly bit my tongue off. I chewed on it for a while. It was almost split.
I hate to say this because I love you, but you're a lot of the reason I don't like to come home anymore.
I know I've been a good mom. I think I'm a good grandmother. I was a PTA mom. I was everything. My family thinks I'm stupid. They think my drinking, it's a willpower thing. It stresses me out and it makes me want to drink.
So, are you an alcoholic?
Yes.
Are you addicted to pills?
I can be.
So, when did this all start?
Probably about 8 or 9 years ago.
Why? What was the trigger?
I had an argument with my husband one night, and he laughed at me and rolled over and went to sleep. And I still was just so upset. So I thought, you know what, a rum and coke would be really good right now. I think I'll do that.
And so you got up and went and medicated yourself, essentially.
Yes.
Medicated your
I did.
feelings and emotions.
And I didn't know that's what I was doing. I just thought, oh boy, this is great. Why didn't I do this sooner?
Do you ever have any remorse for the things that you do when you're drunk?
Yes.
Like when you showed up at her birthday party at school and got up and started dancing and singing and making a fool of yourself in front of all of her friends, which resulted in her being the target of ridicule and gossip for the rest of that school year and ensuing years, and damaged her self-esteem. Were you aware that that happened?
I wasn't aware that it went on for years, no.
How do you feel about the words, "I'm sorry"?
They're numb to me. I don't even like it when other people say it. They don't mean anything to me. I feel like if you're actually truly sorry, you should show that you're sorry. You should do it through action, not just say it.
If she truly cared its impact on you, she would do something about it.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
At that time, Could you have done something about it? Or did you lose control really fast?
I lost control really fast.
So you're saying for 9 years you've had the inability to control yourself?
It started out like right here, and then my drinking got more and more and more and more, and then it started going down, you know, but I was really, really, really bad for a long time. Most of her little girlhood and all of her teenage years.
Did you pick her up in carpool drunk?
No.
You were messed up. There was times when I had to get you to move to the passenger seat so that I could drive.
Did you ride in that carpool sometimes?
Almost every time.
Was she impaired?
Every time.
And later, it's time for you to grow up, lady. Look me in the eye and say, I am so sick to death of this crap, or you get off of my stage.
This May, there are 1,000 reasons to watch.
You shove a fish sandwich in your mother's mouth?
I threw a pizza at her, too.
America's #1 daytime talk show.
She's stealing, stripping, breaking into cars.
She told me she wouldn't do that.
Where did you think she was getting the money? You burned your wedding dress in front of your children.
You don't deserve to see your children right now.
You don't deserve to tell me what I deserve, period.
I have a crazy, obsessed stalker living in my home.
What gives you the right to go through her phone?
I got the answer that I needed.
Well, that doesn't make it okay. That's like, did you rob the bank? Yes, but I did get the money. Did you pick her up in carpool drunk?
No, I did not.
She did.
I wasn't drunk. I wasn't.
You were messed up. There was times when I had to get you to move to the passenger seat so that I could drive.
Yeah.
Because I did not want you driving, especially with my friend in the car. I wasn't about to let you get in a wreck and possibly kill all of us or someone else.
Did you show up for carpool?
I may have had a drink, and I didn't think I was drunk. That's right, yes. But now
so you
I
showed
realize,
up drinking?
Yes, I did have a drink. And I didn't realize that that meant that it was a problem.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous.
Are you drunk?
No.
How long has it been since you had a drink?
3 days.
Reagan was friends with Rachel in elementary school and says she was right there in that 5th grade cafeteria when these boozy antics were going on. Something she says the whole school talked about for a long, long time.
I have watched Rachel struggle with her mom's alcoholism for as long as I can remember. In 6th grade, I had my own birthday party that Rachel attended. When Rachel's mom dropped her off, her mom showed up intoxicated. I was in Rachel's carpool in high school. Every time Andrea came to pick us up, she was at some level of intoxication. Every single time I was at Rachel's house, Andrea was drunk. I've seen Andrea passed out drunk, begging for her car keys drunk, and screaming at her dad drunk. Rachel became really depressed in high school. I remember going to Rachel's sleepover birthday party. Andrea ruined the party, and Rachel had to take care of her because she was so wasted. I felt so bad for Rachel. There are so many nights that Rachel came and slept over at my house because she just couldn't deal with her mom any longer. Rachel has such a bright future ahead of her, but she won't accomplish her goals until her mom gets help because she is still worrying about her mom.
Well, Reagan is joining us today. She's in the audience. Reagan, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
You were there that day, and you've been there for a lot of this.
Yes.
Did you ride in that carpool sometimes?
Almost every time her mom came to pick us up, I was there.
Okay. Was she impaired?
Every time.
Did that worry you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't really know what was going on, but I could see Rachel just stressing out about it.
Did you see her have to wrestle the keys from her mother?
Yes.
There was times when Reagan wasn't with us, and like I tried to avoid the scene at school by trying to make her get out and everything, so I'd just get in the car with her if she didn't look too bad. And then I would just at the edge of my seat the entire drive, and I'd be like, Mom, you're about to hit that curve, you're swerving.
You've been arrested 3 times in front of Rachel, right? Mm-hmm. You were arrested for DUI.
Yes.
Because you say you don't drive impaired, but you mowed down the 3 neighbors' mailboxes and were arrested in the neighbor's yard.
Yes.
In your car. Were you impaired that day?
Yes.
Then the second time you were arrested for violation of probation because you were drunk at the probation meeting.
No, that's not true.
So the police are wrong.
I was not drunk at the probation meeting.
Okay.
They did a test, and they knew that I had something to drink a couple days before the probation meeting.
And the third time was for shoplifting booze.
Yes.
It's a proud moment for you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Police come in and drag your mother out at 3 a.m.?
I know for a fact that people have seen her get arrested outside of her house because I've had people in my neighborhood text me and ask, what's going on with your mom? Why is she outside getting in a police car?
You've been to ER once, you were drunk, fell, hit your head on a table. Second time drinking rubbing alcohol.
Yes.
Then the third visit, day after Christmas, you had a seizure, nearly bit your tongue off. Passed out drunk on the couch in front of friends. Here you are on the bathroom floor. Have you said to her, bitch, you don't deserve anything nice in life?
No. I do not remember saying that, and you didn't deserve that if I did say it.
You did say that.
Wasn't me.
You talked about, because you kept taking my clothes, and then we got in an argument and you had been drinking, and then you told me that I did not deserve all those nice things. But I had worked, I had a job, I worked and bought those things.
Did you threaten her brother with a knife because he was trying to stop you from driving drunk?
No. I might have had a knife in my hand.
Have I got the right... If I got the right family up here...
If I did, I don't remember. And that's the problem, is that I drank way too much to the point where I did things and I didn't remember. I baked a whole cake one time and I don't remember baking the cake.
So you're either sorry or don't remember. Pretty much catches everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay,
Alcohol
got it.
does everything.
All right, next we're going to meet the man who Andrea blames for starting all of this, her husband Wes. You heard her say right here, it's his fault. They had an argument. He rolled over, went to sleep, and she was upset. We'll meet him after the break. One would think being locked up would have been a wake-up call for Andrea, but it wasn't.
I got this wine. I shoplifted it yesterday.
I didn't know that was going on still.
Oh, there's more.
I could not believe that my mom got drunk at my own brother's wedding. While everybody was getting ready, my mom was already drunk and she was already causing problems. She was behaving like a mean drunk. She was arguing with my dad all morning. My mom insisted that she had not been drinking. My dad had a breathalyzer and tried to get her to use it. She got upset and smashed it on the ground. Everyone knew she was drunk. I know that my brother was really hurt. My mom is just a complete wreck.
From being handcuffed and thrown in the back of a squad car in front of her teenage daughter to being hospitalized for drinking rubbing alcohol after her son emptied the liquor cabinet. Wes says there is no low that his wife, Andrea, won't sink to in order to get intoxicated. He says that she feels more like another child or even a pet to him than a partner.
Dealing with Andrea is like patching a leaky dam. You fill one hole and it starts leaking somewhere else. Andrea's alcoholism has completely destroyed our family. Andrea has gotten lazy. She just doesn't contribute to our family financially or to our household and refuses to get a job because at work would cut into her drinking time. Andrea lies to me every day about her drinking. I have found hundreds of bottles and boxes of wine and liquor bottles over the years, and just last month I found 10 boxes of wine under our bed. I've come home before from work and she's passed out on the sofa. One time I walked in the bathroom and found her passed out underwater in the bathtub. So I pulled her out thinking that she was dead. As I was trying to figure out how to do CPR, she just opened her eyes. It scared me to death. Andrea's drinking has ruined us financially. My wife has totaled 2 cars and damaged another because of her drinking. She's cost our family over $100,000 because of lawyers, fines, doctors, and counseling. When my wife got her DUI, I had to use our house as collateral for her bond. My wife takes money from my children. As a result, my son went and bought a safe to put in his room. I had to open up a separate account to protect our finances. It makes me so angry that I have to protect myself from my own wife. We're all past being angry. We're numb at this point.
All right, Wes, glad to meet you. You said you've had to put the house up and stuff to bail her out. Why are you bailing her out?
Well, I had to do it to get her out of jail.
She kept calling him, and she would just cry to him and be like, I promise I'll get better if you come home, or if I come home. She'd keep telling him all these lies just to get him to come and get her, I guess.
Was she getting drunk and stealing from you and wrecking cars while she was in jail?
No.
Was she getting drunk and wrecking cars and stealing from you when she was out of jail?
Yes.
Well, let's get her out.
I know.
One of my fundamental rules is you just don't reward bad behavior. I mean, if your dog pees on the carpet, you don't give him a treat. If your child back talks you don't say, oh, great job. You know, if somebody drives drunk, you don't buy them a new car. They total a car, you don't go get them a new one. Say, here, try this one.
Right.
You don't reward bad behavior. One would think being locked up would have been a wake-up call for Andrea, but it wasn't. And she says she's been keeping this a secret from her family. We might as well get it out on the table right now.
I got this wine. I shoplifted it yesterday because I am so addicted to alcohol, and my husband tracks all my receipts. I shoplift. I got arrested the first time I did it. The police saw the camera and figured out who I was. I got handcuffed in front of my own daughter and went to jail for 30 days. While I was in jail, I learned to perfect my technique. When I go to shoplift, I put on makeup, fix my hair, and wear nice clothes. The key is to not look like I'm gonna shoplift. I learned to not spend too much time in the store. Don't linger. Get what I want and get out. Sometimes I would go to the freezer section and open the glass doors so that they fogged up, so that the cameras couldn't see me, because I had a relative that worked for a grocery store in loss prevention. I became aware of what they look for in shoplifters, and I learned to not draw attention to myself. I took advantage of that. That family member is very angry. My husband doesn't know. I still shoplift every time I shoplift. I think, oh God, please let this be the last time. But I just keep getting on the same merry-go-round. I can't get off.
I didn't know that was going on still.
Oh, there's more. Andrea says shoplifting alcohol multiple times a week isn't the only way she gets money to feed her addiction, so what else is she hiding? We'll find out after the break.
I learned about doing that in jail from my cellmate. She offered to pay me. I realized at that moment it was a way that I could get money for alcohol.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil. A social media prank with deadly consequences.
He was so young. He was only 11.
You think this girl actually wanted your son to kill himself?
That's Monday.
Shoplifting is not the only thing Andrea has been hiding from her husband and children. She says having a bunkmate in jail who was a drug dealer had what she calls advantages.
To get money for alcohol, I have sold my prescription anti-anxiety medication. I learned about doing that in jail from my cellmate. She asked me when I got out that I give her some of my medication. She offered to pay me. I realized at that moment it was a way that I could get money. She wanted it. I had it. If she's willing to pay for it, I was going to give it to her. I would sell it for $10 a pill. I didn't realize that I was committing a crime, that it made me a drug dealer. I thought I was just helping out a friend. I figured out how to be very sly and keep things from my husband and family. I realized it was wrong, but I did not have to shoplift.
The price of poker just keeps going up, because I want you to take a look at the law here. Xanax is a Schedule IV drug. It's unlawful for any person to manufacture, deliver, distribute, dispense, administer, sell, or possess with intent to distribute any controlled substance. A controlled substance in Schedule IV shall be guilty of a felony, shall be punishable by imprisonment for not less than 1 year. Now, this is a Schedule IV drug, and she is delivering it, distributing it, and selling it for $10 a pill, wholesale, to a dealer that's selling it on the street. So she's in the drug chain here, helping out a friend.
She said she was taking it. She didn't say she was selling it. You know, and I just really thought I was helping her out.
You're dealing.
But I want to stop what I'm doing.
So why do you want to stop?
I want to be with my family for as long as I can. And I want to be... I want to be present. Wholehearted, 100% present at every function, and just in life, and not just be a warm body in a room.
You said to us you think you're a good grandmother. Is this your son, David?
Yes.
You think she's a good grandmother?
No.
Why not?
She's just out of control. I can't trust her around my kids.
Is there any way on God's earth you would allow her to supervise your children?
Absolutely not.
But you know she's in there. You know your mother is in here, because you're old enough, you do remember her as a good mother.
I do, yeah. Being the oldest, I remember how she used to be when she was just a normal mom, loving, caring, hardworking, trustworthy. So that's kind of been one of the more difficult things is just seeing this change happen and the way that it's negatively impacted my family.
So, you know, what do you do now? I mean, where does Andrea go from here? I don't see a lot of options. We'll be right back. Do y'all believe that this can end in death?
Yes.
I mean, not just a car crash death.
No, I mean, her liver will fail.
Yeah, and I want to be very clear about this, and so I'm going to add someone to the conversation here. Joining us now via the Doctor on Demand, it's a company that my son and I have started. Dr. Ian Tong, who is the Chief Medical Officer at Doctor on Demand, is with us right now. I've asked you to take a look at some of the labs and what's going on here with Andrea. What do you see when you look at the results here, and with regard to the liver?
With the lab results that we saw with Andrea was it became clear that there was an elevation in the liver enzymes that were really more than double the normal value. And when we see that happen, that is actually a pretty strong clue to a clinician or a doctor who's making an assessment to be able to say their relative risk of death within either a short period or a longer period of time. So I'll give you an example. With the labs that we saw, it did show that the ratio of those labs suggests that there is a hazardous habit of drinking alcohol and what's called an alcohol hepatitis. So that means inflammation of the cells of the liver. We can see that by that lab work. There are also, as I said, physical examination findings, and then the history being consistent. We could make a pretty accurate prediction about the risk that she would have of dying within the next year.
And Dr. Tong, let me ask you this final question just to be real clear for everybody. Death by liver failure is not an easy way to go, is it?
It's a very painful thing for a family, and actually for the caring physicians and for the patient. There are a number of things that can happen along the path. You can actually lose the ability to think clearly, so your cognitive function is decreased. You can suffer from GI bleeding, and patients are actually more likely to have infection as well. All of these medical conditions and risks are heightened when someone has problems with alcohol abuse that has damaged the liver.
Dr. Tong, thank you. Thank everybody for their research at Doctor On Demand. We'll talk to you soon.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Bill.
Look me in the eye and say, I am so sick to death of this crap, or you get off of my stage. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
Here's my concern. I always kind of categorize people into 4 stages of readiness. Stage 1 is compelled by authority to change. That's when I'm dealing with someone that's court-ordered. Stage 2 is they're doing it to escape criticism. They're not court-ordered, it's not law, but their family is on their ass. Stage 3, they intellectually get it, but their heart's not in it. And then stage 4 is when they are mentally, emotionally self-motivated to change. Stage 4 is when somebody actually can look me in the eye and say, I am so sick to death of this crap that I don't want it another second, of another minute, of another hour, of another day. That's when you will be ready to make a change. Now, you tell me you're there or you get off of my stage.
I am there.
It's time for you to grow up, lady. It's time for you to put up or shut up. Ben, come up here, will you? Ben, have a seat.
Okay.
How are you?
Great, thanks.
This is Ben Levinson. Ben is the founder of Origins Behavioral Healthcare. We work with Ben a lot, and I believe that they are the nation's leading dual diagnosis treatment center. I will do whatever it takes to create an environment around you programmed for success, not failure. I made up a little poster for you. You live in a small town. I would expect you to do this when you got out. Alert, do not do business with this woman. She is unsafe. She is me. Please do not serve or sell me alcoholic drinks or prescription drugs. Help me stay safe no matter what I say. Please monitor and accompany me at all times in your store. I am not to be trusted. If I appear impaired, please call this number. I do not want to hurt or victimize anyone. You live in a small town. I would want you to paper the town with these things. I don't don't do things conventionally. I set you up for success, not failure. So when I say I get on this end of the rope, you better be serious.
I am.
Because I am.
Yeah. We are too.
All right.
Thank you.
I want to thank all of my guests today, and a very special thanks to Ben Levinson and Origins Behavioral Health Care. I also want to thank Dr. Ian Tong, and if you at home want to have your own doctor on demand, you can go to Google Play Store or iTunes App Store and download the Doctor on Demand app, and it works just like you just saw. In a matter of seconds, you'll be face-to-face with the doctor just like we were here, and you can make appointments for doctor-level psychologist and have your sessions right there from home. We're very proud of that. So thank you very much for being here. We'll see you next time.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, a daughter robbed of her innocence.
When I was 11, my dad had custody of me. He manipulated me into sex and the wifely duties. It's shocking that I went through that. People started saying, well, maybe she consented.
You were a victim of emotional extortion, and you were being raped.
Where was her mother?
I was trying to keep in touch with the kids, but I finally just threw my hands up in the air and said, I'll see them when they're 18.
Did you fight for your children?
I did.
No, you didn't.
I'm done.
No, you're not done. Your daughter is here. Don't you throw your hands up and walk out on her again. Answer the question.
I'm not going to answer the question.
She deserves an answer. This isn't about you. It's about her. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. When Kelly was a little girl, she says her father, David, was a devoted family man who always made time for her, reading her books, playing with her, and above all, protecting her from the world outside. But when Kelly turned 11 years old, she said her world came crashing down because her father, the man she trusted, began grooming her to be his wife. Kelly says David began treating her as a spouse in every sense of the word. She was forced to iron his clothes, maintain the house, have his dinner ready when he came home. And then when she turned 12, he began doing the unthinkable. He forced Kelly into a sexual relationship that would last over a decade. Kelly says for 12 years she was her father's sex slave wife. Take a look.
My family was the typical family that was out there.
I like to think we were a happy-go-lucky family. My dad, David, was a great dad. I loved him. I remember him always tickling us, playing Barbies with us. Then,
my parents got divorced when I was 11 years old, and my dad got full custody of me.
Me and my siblings were staying at my dad's house full-time.
One night, a year later, he snuck into my room, and he went under my covers. He told me he was sorry. He told me that if I told anybody, your daddy would go to jail. A year later, he started to have sex with me. I did cry when it happened, but I didn't say anything. I was scared. I was really scared. I went into the bathroom because I was bleeding, and I came out, and he told me that I had lost my virginity. I was raped by my father and basically held prisoner in my own home for 12 years. He did make me a sex slave and a wife. My dad did tell me that he was addicted to sex with me, that he didn't want anybody else. I felt like in his mind it was a relationship, and I hate using this word, but he felt it was more like of a marriage. He manipulated me into everything from sex to the wifely duties. He would make sure that I had his clothes clean and folded and the house cleaned and dinner ready. By the age of 16, I wasn't allowed to call him dad or daddy anymore. He wanted me to call him babe or honey. I do believe he was sick and twisted, and I do believe he was in love with me.
Sadly, that was just the beginning, because Kelly gave birth to 2 of her father's children, and says he forced her to keep their secret by threatening, manipulating, and brainwashing her into believing that this was just the way it was. This was a normal life.
My dad brainwashed me, manipulated me, and he threatened me so I would stay quiet. We have 2 matching tattoos. I do think that was a way to control me. He told me that when he dies, that I'll always have a piece of him on me. He did isolate me from family and friends. As soon as somebody started getting close, he'd shut off our relationship. He wanted to know where I was at all times, so he got me a cell phone to keep track of where I was. My dad would always go through my phone and listen in on my phone calls. All throughout high school, I never really got to be alone. He would show up to make sure I was in class. As I got older, the threats got harsher and harsher. The first threat was that he would go to jail and he would be raped. And then he started telling me that he was going to kill himself in front of me. One time, he had told me that he was going to kill me by putting my head next to his head with a gun, so it would go straight through both of us. I even tried running away. Every time he found me, he would tell me things were gonna be okay. He wouldn't do anything anymore. And the minute I got to the house, things went back to the way they were.
Well, Kelly, I'm glad to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm sorry for the subject matter. At this point in your life, how do you feel about you and what's happened in your life? What do you say to yourself at this point about all of this?
It's hard to get through day-to-day life. I try to get through without remembering it. I have flashbacks of things that had happened. I feel violated because I feel like half my life was gone and taken from me.
You had no normal to compare this to, right?
No.
This is all you had.
This is all I had. I had no normal. This is what my normal was. This is how I was raised from the age of 11 all the way to it was what I knew was normal, what he told me.
See, those of us that didn't grow up with that can look at this and say, wow, that is so far out there, it's unthinkable. But if that's all you lived, if you never lived in another house, if you never lived in another relationship, then you have nothing to compare it to. But now you look back, and do you blame yourself for some of this? Do you feel like I went along with this at times? I should have said something? Do you blame yourself?
Sometimes I feel like I should have spoke up, but with the threats that he held against me, there's no way. It would have scared any child. It would have scared them to where they would never tell anybody. And it was scary. I was brainwashed. I mean, that's what I was raised as.
But from like 11 to 23, you lived like a married couple.
Yeah.
How did this happen? How did people in your world, people in your life, your mother, how did somebody not step up and say, this just looks wrong. This relationship doesn't look right?
Actually, a lot of people had suspicions and nobody spoke up. I felt let down from those people, kind of.
So there were people that knew something wasn't right.
Lots.
And the something that wasn't right was that you were being violated by your father in some way.
Right.
They may not have known the extent of it, but they knew something was going on that should not be going on.
Yeah.
And nobody said anything.
Nobody said anything.
Does that enrage you?
It kind of upsets me because it makes me feel as like the victim that did I not put enough signs out there? Did I not put the effort into showing people without specifically telling them this is going on with me?
How about your mother?
My mother
How does a mother not see that? Did she see it?
She didn't. I mean, I think she saw a little bit of signs here and there, but no, not that I know of. She didn't see very many, I guess.
What do you say to yourself about people saw things but did nothing? What do you say? Do you say, was I not worth it? Did they not care? What do you say?
It's more of like, like the question why? Why didn't you say something? Why didn't you tell authorities? Or it's more I feel like it's more my fault. Like I didn't put enough signs out there.
Well, we need to talk about this. We're going to take a break. Kelly says her father's demand for sex had no boundaries. She said he would force her to have sex while her younger sibling was in the room, forbid her from using birth control, and got her pregnant at 17. And that was just the first time. We'll talk about that and more after the break.
I gave birth to 2 children. My dad told people that I would sleep around. It made me feel horrible because that's not who I am. My kids called my father Papa, but he whispered into my daughter's ear to call him Dad.
And later, you're her mother. Answer the question.
I'm done.
No, you're not done. Your daughter is here, and she deserves for you to sit here and talk to her.
Tomorrow, her boyfriend's been called an abuser.
He didn't throw me through a window. He hit the window.
That's what you told me when you called crying.
And a con artist.
Did you fake a kidnapping?
God, no. I was held against my will.
So why were you arrested at the end of it?
Did he fake having cancer?
You had a crowdfunding site?
No, that's
wait a minute. You tried to con me, and we're done, my friend.
Tomorrow, then on Thursday.
Did you do this to her?
I did.
Your ex-fiance says you were doing the same thing before.
It is a lie.
Well, Ashley, come out here.
That's Thursday.
I had my own bedroom, but he did not want me sleeping in there. He would tell me to come sleep in his room. I moved into his room. When I was about 13 years old, he told me whoever was gonna ask that I had bad dreams and I would come in there to sleep. In his mind, he felt it was normal that I shared a bed with him.
Kelly, how does it feel to recount that now?
It hurts because it's shocking that I went through that and that I survived that. It's hard seeing his pictures.
What Kelly's talking about, if you're just tuning in, is that she was forced into a sexual relationship with her father from age 11 to 23, leading to a string of pregnancies.
I was pregnant a total of 4 times. I gave birth to 2 children who were fathered by my dad. He was always telling me that I was meant to be a mother. I always got asked who the dad was, and my dad always told me to tell people it was a friend of mine from a different high school. I was sneaking out of the house, and that's how I had gotten pregnant. My dad was in the delivery room with me when I gave birth to my daughter and cut the umbilical cord, but didn't sign the birth certificate. My daughter was born with a club foot, and she was born not breathing, and my dad didn't even care. He could only ask what's wrong with her foot. He thought it was a birth defect because she was born out of incest. My dad told people that I would sleep around. It made me feel horrible because that's not who I am. My mom was shocked to hear that I was pregnant, and she eventually stopped asking who the father was. My kids called my father Papa, but he whispered into my daughter's ear to call him Dad. She would copy him, but she never really knew that that was her dad. She knew him as Grandpa.
And how old are your children now?
My daughter is 4, and my son is 2.
And so they have no understanding about any of this at all at this point?
No, none.
Will you tell them about this? Do you plan to tell them?
I don't plan to tell them who their father is or about their father unless it's medically necessary.
He knew this was wrong.
He knew it was wrong.
Because he lied about it, and he was willing to throw you under the bus publicly, socially, to tell people that you were promiscuous to cover himself.
You know, it hurt really bad because I was never promiscuous. I never got around. I never had a relationship. It hurt so bad that was what people viewed me as instead of what was really going on.
Did he fear you outing him?
Yes, he did not want to be brought out. He did not want me to say anything to anybody.
But he lived in fear of that.
All the time, from day one.
Have you heard the term emotional extortion?
No.
This is a powerful thing that abusers use. They use your emotion to extort your silence. They say, if you do this, you will be responsible for my death. You will be responsible for my going to prison.
And he said it all the time.
And he also convinced you that this was all consensual, right?
Yeah.
So you're going along with this. You have nothing to complain about.
Yeah. I didn't want to do any of it. And I would tell him, I don't want to do this. Please stop.
You tried to run away 3 times.
I did. I tried to run away, and each and every time, he found me. I ran to my neighbor's house one time, and he found me by Facebook location. I tried to run away and go stay in a hotel. He found me because it was the only hotel that rented to people under 21.
And you understand now, you did not have a sexual relationship with your father. You had a rape relationship with your father. We call it sex because it is a sexual act. This was not a sexual relationship. You were raped. That was a crime committed against you, and that you were the victim of that.
And that makes me feel a lot better because I've gotten the questions, you were 18, why didn't you leave? And people started saying, well, maybe she consented.
Well, some people are, it's the clinical term I'm looking for, idiots. Right?
Yeah.
Next, Kelly's mother, Christine, says right from the start, she had a gut feeling that Kelly was being abused. She said when Kelly's children were born, she immediately noticed the similarities between Kelly's children and her own. She says she didn't accuse anyone because that's a serious allegation. We're going to meet her next.
David was disgusting and sick in the head. At this point, the only thing I want to accomplish is to have my daughter move on. I know it was traumatic. It'll take some time to get over, but you just have to move on.
And later, answer the question.
I'm not going to do this.
Answer the question.
I'm not going to answer the question.
Don't you throw your hands up and walk out on her again.
This May, there are 1,000 reasons to watch.
You shove a fish sandwich in your mother's mouth?
I threw a pizza at her, too.
America's #1 daytime talk show.
She's stealing, stripping, breaking into cars.
She told me she wouldn't do that.
Where did you think she was getting the money? You burned your wedding dress in front of your children.
You don't deserve to see your children right
You
now.
don't deserve to tell me what I deserve, period.
I have a crazy, obsessed stalker living in my home.
What gives you the right to go through her phone?
I got the answer that I needed.
Well, that doesn't make it okay. That's like, did you rob the bank? Yes, but I did get the money.
My dad got a call from CPS and said that I wasn't allowed back at my mother's house. I didn't see my mother for 5 years and our communication was limited. She admitted to me that she gave up fighting for her right to be a parent. My mom was my best friend. Once I got taken away from her, my whole world crashed. I'm upset and angry with her because she should have fought to the end of the world to get custody back. When I tried to confront her, she came back at me and said, "You could have spoken up."
For over a decade, Kelly says she was forced into a husband and wife-like relationship with her father, David. She says he told her he was addicted to sex with her and couldn't live without her. So did Kelly's mom know about the abuse, and if so, why didn't this mother stop it? Well, she says she never had any proof, and Kelly never spoke up.
I was still trying to keep in touch with the kids, but it was hard. If I was even a minute late, David wouldn't let me talk to the kids. Communication pretty much stopped after the first year. I wasn't able to see them either. After a few times trying to go through court, I finally just threw my hands up in the air and said, I'll see them when they're 18. I always had my suspicions from the beginning. I would see pictures of David and Kelly on Facebook, and it would just seem odd. I was seeing his arm around her, like a couple. David and the kids visited me while they were on vacation, and Kelly was pregnant at the time. I kept asking her who the father was, and she would not give me a name. After my granddaughter was born, she looked like one of my kids. I asked Kelly point blank, "Is he touching you?" She said, "No, he's not." So then I asked her if he was doing anything to her sister, and she told me that no, I made sure of that. And that comment struck me as odd. After that conversation, I did call CPS. I told them I had a gut feeling that something was going on, but they told me that they couldn't do anything because I didn't have any evidence. Finally, Kelly called me up one day, and she told me that her dad had been molesting her since she was 11, and she told me that her kids are his. David was disgusting and sick in the head. I wish I had never met him. I want to have the perfect mother and daughter relationship. At this point, the only thing I want to accomplish is to have my daughter move on. I know it was traumatic. It'll take some time to get over, but you just have to move on. Life goes on.
Okay. How do you feel right now, seeing your mom?
I love my mom. It's she's my mother. I mean, there's some harsh feelings from way back then, but I mean, I still love her. She's my mom.
How do you feel about your role in all of this to date?
It's been hard, especially hearing everything that's been going on. To hear the news that my fears from a long time ago are true.
You're her mother, and I'm really curious about some of the things that you said. Mm-hmm. You said that the children were with him. How did that happen?
Part of that went through our divorce. They were going to go see this doctor, or it might have even been a mediator. Part of that was he had them lie to the mediator, which I found out, which I kind of thought happened because it was very odd that they didn't let them even come with me.
Did you fight for them?
I did.
Because it's awfully unusual that would happen.
Exactly. And I thought I had it. I thought I had it in the bag, you know, until everything just started. It just started going spiral down.
But then I heard you say on your tape, you said you try to see him and he would make it difficult, and then you said in about a year you just said, you know what? Well, here's what you said. I pulled this by. Let's take a look at this.
I finally just threw my hands up in the air and said, I'll see them when they're 18.
I got to tell you, I'm stunned at that.
Kept fighting and fighting and fighting until I couldn't fight no more.
No, you didn't. You said, I just threw my hands up and said,
I'm done.
Screw it. I'll see you when I'm 18. No, you're not done. Your daughter is here, and she deserves for you to sit here and talk to her.
I finally just threw my hands up in the air and said, I'll see them when they're 18.
I got to tell you, I'm stunned at that. That was when they were how old?
They were young. It was a fight in court. I kept fighting and fighting and fighting until I couldn't fight no more.
No, you didn't. You said, I just threw my hands up and said,
I'm done.
Screw it. I'll see you when I'm 18. No, you're not done. Your daughter is here, and she deserves for you to sit here and talk to her.
I'm not going to be the bad person here.
You threw your hands up and said, I'll see you when you're 18 then. Don't you throw your hands up and walk out on her again. Answer the question.
I'm not going to do this.
Answer the question.
I'm not going to answer the question.
She deserves an answer. This isn't about you, it's about her. Let this be about her. Put her first today. What went through your mind when you said, I'll see them when they're 18?
What went through my mind was this fight was very hard. He was doing everything that he could possible just to make my life a living hell.
And by the way, something you will hear now, because you didn't prance off the stage here, is I realized this guy was a manipulative ass.
Yeah, he was.
I totally get that. To you, to her, everybody, I realize what you're up against here. Don't think I don't. What I'm asking you is what you saw at the time. Everybody I have on this stage is a teaching tool. If there's a mother-daughter situation out there that parallels this in any way, use your life now to save a version of her in Oregon, in Florida, in Texas, in Arizona, in New Mexico. Your daughter comes here today with forgiveness in her heart saying, I want to heal this family. You wish you had done this differently.
Yeah.
If you knew then what you know now, you would have run him down in the street if you had to. Him. I know that. And by the way, if you're in that situation, don't run him down with a car. I'm not advocating that. Use the system. Go to the police. Go to the court. Don't resort to violence. That's not what I'm advocating. I'm just saying that's what you would have felt at the time.
I know.
But you say you did suspect it. What made you suspect it?
I just had a feeling. That mother instinct, that gut feeling from the beginning.
Did she fail to do anything she should have done?
I wish she would have come forward. I wish she would have said something from the beginning.
But you understand, that a child that is in the grips of an abuser, that is a victim of emotional extortion and leverage and threat, is paralyzed in that situation.
I understand.
He is threatening her with her life, his life, your life. He's threatening her with everybody. How does a child fight against that?
They don't.
You couldn't fight against it. How could she?
No. I wish she was able to. I understand why she didn't. That's her dad, too.
You said that she told you that nothing was happening. So at that point, you took her at her word.
I did. I'm still searching for clues on what I felt. You know, I started seeing pictures in Facebook that everything just looked different. It just looked weird.
Well, it was weird because while other kids were outside playing and enjoying their childhood, Kelly says she was like a prisoner in her own home. Those pictures were creepy. She says she was 11 years old when she became her father's sex slave wife until she finally confessed to her best friend what was really behind closed doors. We're going to meet Nicole next.
She told me that if I called the cops on her, she would never be my friend again. I figured it was better to lose a friend and save lives. I don't regret it.
tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. Is her boyfriend a con artist?
Did you say you had lymphoma?
No, that's not the...
Now, wait a minute. You tried to con me, and we're done, my friend.
That's tomorrow.
Imagine at 11 years old being brainwashed and groomed to be your father's wife. And that was Kelly's life for 12 excruciating years. That is until Kelly confessed to her best friend, Nicole.
The first thing that was weird to me about Kelly and her dad was that they were always texting each other. And they could be in the same room together and they were still texting. I never saw any of the messages because she was always sneaky about it. They acted like a married couple, almost to the point where people would question it. One time at a church party, they sat next to each other super close. Kelly's dad had his arm around her. If we ever wanted to go out like shopping or just take the kids out, he always had to come with us. Kelly's kids would slip up and call him daddy. I asked her if she was sleeping with her dad. She told me that there was no way that was happening. They just had a super close relationship. The next day, Kelly called me crying and told me that she had been sleeping with her father and that both children were his. I tried to get her to come over to my house or call the police, but she refused. She told me that if I called the cops on her, she would never be my friend again. I promised Kelly that I wouldn't call the cops, but as soon as we hung up the phone, I called the cops. I was more worried about her children than Kelly being selfish. I figured it was better to lose a friend and save lives. I don't regret it. As soon as the cops showed up at Kelly's door, Kelly pretended she didn't know what they were talking about, that she was happy and that she was there because she wanted to be there. I was so angry at Kelly because she lied to the cops and that was her one chance to get out. The next time I heard from Kelly was when she called me to tell me that her dad had committed suicide. Kelly has admitted to me that she has feelings for him more than a daughter and father relationship. She told me that she loved him, but she also hated him.
Kelly says David's paranoia about being found out hit an all-time high. 8 months after police arrived at their doorstep, Kelly says David called her and said he loved her and that this was not her fault. She says those words play over and over again in her mind.
My dad became paranoid and felt like my mom was starting a police case against him. He took his .40 caliber gun and drove off. He called me and told me he loved me, that this wasn't my fault, and that he loves my kids, and he hopes I can find somebody to raise them better than he did. Those were the last words that I heard from my father. I went to go try to find him. I saw a white van in the bushes. I went to the driver's side, and there I saw his gun in his hand and a bullet wound through his head.
Tell me what you're thinking and feeling right now.
That was the last image I have of my dad. And as much as satisfaction it gave me to see him dead and me free, that was just, you know, my father. I like to remember the memories before things started happening, but that's a harsh image. It's a harsh image to get out of your head.
Nicole, thank you for being here. Are you glad that she did what she did?
I thank her all the time. She saved my life.
What did you say to yourself when you said, I've got to do something here?
Like when she told me not to tell, I knew that I was lying to her from the beginning, saying that I promised I wasn't, because I was going to do it immediately. I already knew I was. There wasn't even a doubt that I wasn't going to call the cops for her children's sake and her sake.
Is it fair to say that even with all this history, there are some mixed emotions?
There are some mixed emotions, yeah, because I wish I could go back to before he started doing things to me and have him as a dad. He was a great dad.
Are you confused that you have mixed emotions?
Yeah, I am, because, I mean, I don't know if it's normal.
You have confusion about why you would have mixed emotions about somebody that did this to you.
Yeah.
This is a big one. I'm going to make that really clear right after the break.
To this day, I have conflicting feelings about my dad. I love and miss my father, but I hate what he did to me. It scared me when my dad was gone because I had nothing. I was thrown out into the world with no life experiences. I'm a single mom trying to raise my 2 kids, and every day is hard. I have to learn how to be on my own.
Kelly was only 11 years old when her mother Christine lost custody, and she was forced to live with her father, where her nightmare began. Her father David raped and manipulated her into a relationship until the day he ended his own life. You do have mixed emotions about it. You don't understand why. I want to tell you exactly why. I think you will understand when I see it. There are going to be 3 numbers that make this, I think, exceedingly clear. Clear it up for you? I wrote a book called Self Matters a number of years ago. And in that book, I talked about 10-7-5. The 10 defining moments that we have in our life. The 7 critical choices that we make that define who we are. And the 5 pivotal people that we encounter along the way. And if you're ever going to know who you are, you're ever going to know why you do the things you do and feel the things you feel, you're going to have to identify what your 10 defining moments are, what your 7 critical choices are, and who your 5 pivotal people are. And the 5 pivotal people in your life are going to be the people that have written on the slate of who you are. In the early years, he defined himself in a positive way to you, and then he became evil and rotten and took away from you your childhood, your innocence, and so much that you deserve to have and can never get back. And so you have mixed emotions because you have mixed experiences. You have mixed memories. If you compartmentalize those 12 years and look back to the 10 that came before, you go, wow, I remember playing in the yard. I remember playing in the park. I remember him telling me a story. I remember things that were good. And that man sat in that seat of that car with a bullet in his head. My daddy is dead. And so is my rapist. And so it's all like this until you go, no, wait a minute. He was both of those things. So you've got to give yourself permission to say, yeah, there was a time, but then it all changed.
It did, it changed.
But you have to understand that all came from the inside out. There was nothing you did. Kelly says she was angry when her father died. She says she's left with picking up the pieces and has struggled since the day he took his own life. I'm going to tell her how to put those pieces back together right after the break.
Introducing Lean 13 from Nutrisystem. Lose up to 13 pounds in your first month, guaranteed.
Lose up to 13 pounds fast with the new Lean 13 from Nutrisystem.
Your 13 can turn into 20, 30, 50, even more. I'm Marie and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem. You'll see results right away. Count, measure, meetings? No, not with Nutrisystem.
Order your 28-day plan right now and we'll rush you Lean 13. Get specially designed meals, plus 1 week of new Nutri-Crush bars to crush cravings free. And 1 week of Turbo Shakes to bust belly bloat free.
Bye-bye, stubborn belly fat.
Call or go online in the next 2 minutes and we'll even throw in FedEx shipping free. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall your first month.
Your first 13 pounds, gone.
Go online or call 877-607-THIN right now and get new Lean 13 with bars and shakes free.
Today at 5, Aaron Hernandez's murder conviction tossed out. Why a judge says she had no choice but to erase the guilty verdict and the next steps for the family of Odin Lloyd. Then mourning their friends, how colleagues are remembering the 2 doctors brutally murdered in their South Boston penthouse. Plus chaos at the airport, why hundreds of Spirit passengers were left stranded at 5.
Tonight, Steven's getting the band back together. Don't miss John Oliver, Ed Helms, Samantha Bee, Rob Corddry, and Jon Stewart. A special all-new Colbert tonight.
Did you know that Massachusetts has 14 million accounts equaling $2.4 billion in unclaimed money, stocks, insurance claims, and more? Log on to findmassmoney.com to search for your name and see if you have unclaimed money waiting for you.
3-Day Blinds design experts bring the showroom to you and personally help you choose the custom window treatments that are just right for your home. We carry hundreds of styles of blinds, shades, shutters, and drapes in patterns and colors to match any decor. We design, we measure, we install. You relax. For a limited time, the installation is on us. Schedule your free in-home consultation at 3dayblinds.com today.
Oh, this is bad.
Can I help?
Dentist, huh? I'll pass. Think it'll be faster if I wait for someone else.
Last time I dealt with a dentist, it took forever.
Look, I get it. But Aspen Dental is making things easier. So you get your dentures in days and a money-back guarantee.
That does sound easy.
Fire her up.
Should have married a dentist.
We're not the dentist you remember. We're easier. With dentures starting at $3.99 per arch and a money-back guarantee.
If your child was born with brain damage, a birth defect, or cerebral palsy, the medical costs for your child will be challenging. Many times, we discover that the hospital's failure to perform a timely C-section deprived your child of oxygen, resulting in his or her injury. You only have a limited time to bring a claim. Don't wait. For more information, visit forthepeople.com or call us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Did you know that Massachusetts has 14 million accounts equaling $2.4 billion in unclaimed money, stocks, insurance claims, and more? Log on to findmassmoney.com to search for your name and see if you have unclaimed money waiting for you.
Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
What I want to tell you is that you have absolutely zero accountability for what happened to you as a child. Okay? Understand. You have zero. Look me in the eye and hear what I say. If you hear not another word I've said to you today, you have zero accountability to what happened to you as a child. Look at me.
Thank you.
You have 100% accountability for what you do about it now. You cannot change what happened, and you're not responsible for that. But you do have to lead the charge on what you do now. And let me tell you, there are open wounds. I'm glad your mother's here. And you started to leave, and I told you to sit back down. This wasn't about you, it was about her. And I thank you for not leaving. Thank you for staying here. I'm glad you did. Because you two need each other.
Yeah.
And there's something that I want you two to do. I'm going to extend an offer to the two of you. There's a program here in America that I think is just top-notch excellent that's called On-Site. And On-Site deals particularly with people that have been through trauma. And they do very intensive workshops and treatment that's specialized for people that have been through emotional trauma, that deal with mental health issues, and they are just terrific at hitting the reset button and giving you a fresh start at redefining where you are in your life and where you are in your relationship. And I would like to make the offer to send the two of you there together.
I would love that.
All right, can we do that? And we'll do that at your earliest possible convenience. We'll make that available to you, okay? All right. I would like to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to On-Site and Miles Adcox for all he does for us at On-Site. If you or someone you know is being abused, please contact RAIN, Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. And you can do that by calling 1-800-656-HOPE. Or you can go to rain.org. And for more information about today's show, you can log on to drphil.com. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.
On an all-new Dr. Phil.
I have a crazy, obsessed stalker living in my home.
You met him at a bar, and you moved him in a few weeks later.
I wasn't going to.
You accidentally moved him in?
She claims she kicked him to the curb.
You chased him out with a knife.
But he's not getting the message.
He has sabotaged every guy that I was interested in.
I don't do it because I'm obsessed with her. I do it out of love.
Going through my phone is love.
But you're going to go do it with so-and-so that might have such and such, and I needed to see what such and such was.
What the hell is such and such?
I don't know. He said it. I don't know.
What gives you the right to go through her phone?
I got the answer that I needed.
Well, that doesn't make it okay. Just like, did you rob the bank? Yes, but I get the money. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well, thank you. Well, Crystal says she was enjoying a night out on the town when she met a guy named Ronnie. They talked for a while, got to know each other, and by the end of the night, they added each other on Facebook. Sounds innocent enough, right? Well, a week or so later, when Crystal found out that Ronnie and his 16-year-old son were basically homeless, she invited both of them, a guy she just met and his teenage son, to move in with her and her 2 young children. Now, 10 months later, Crystal says what began as a simple act of kindness has turned into her worst nightmare. She says her roommate, Ronnie, is obsessed with her, and now she says she has a, quote, stalker living in her home. Take a look.
I have a crazy, obsessed stalker living in my home. I'm afraid someday he may snap. I met Ronnie at a bar last May. I was definitely not attracted to Ronnie. Ronnie's son, Sean, was gonna get put in a foster home. So the following Sunday, I invited Ronnie and Sean to go to church. That's when I asked if they would like to move into my home. This is my bedroom. Sean's room's there. And then way back here, I had Ronnie on this first floor. Over time, Ronnie got into a deeper obsession with me. Ronnie always stares at me and he touches me. I even think Ronnie watches me when I sleep. One time I woke up, Ronnie's head was by my feet. He could have been smelling me. It was weird.
I saw a quote, why wouldn't you want somebody obsessed with you if they loved you? That totally makes sense to me.
I've been single for a really long time. I would definitely love to find somebody. Unfortunately, I can't because Ronnie's crazy. I told you that I don't want to be with you, that I don't love you, I don't have feelings for you. I found out Ronnie has been going through my phone. I think he got my thumbprint when I was sleeping.
When I went through Crystal's phone, I wanted to know if Crystal had hooked up with one of my friends.
He blocked and deleted my text messages with other guys. Ronnie told all of his friends that I am his girlfriend.
I need to find somebody that actually cares.
Why haven't you freaking done that? I have 2 kids of my own. They do not like Ronnie. I kicked Ronnie out a week ago and asked him to leave, and he refused, and things escalated. I chased him out of the house with a knife. I don't know if Ronnie will snap, but I definitely don't want to find out. Yeah.
Tell me what's funny about that.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, you said you met him at a bar.
I did.
And you moved him in a few weeks later.
A few weeks later, I wasn't going to. What had happened is
You accidentally moved him in?
No.
I hate it when that happens.
No, he had a son. I was not going to invite them into my house, but once I found out there was a 15-year-old, and they were living on a work site.
And you have 2 children?
I do have 2 children.
How old?
6 and 12.
And so you moved 2 strange males into your home.
I did. I have a big heart. I've had other people that have lived in my house.
You have a big heart.
I do.
Just not big enough to protect your own children.
No, I do.
Big enough to move people in, but not big enough to protect your own children.
No, my children are my #1 priority.
No, wait a minute. You said, quote, I have a crazy, obsessed stalker living in my home.
Yeah, no, it's true.
With your children?
Yeah.
And they've been there how long?
They have been there now 10 months on there. Yeah.
10 months?
Yes.
So roughly 300 days?
Roughly, yeah.
So you've had roughly 300 opportunities to say, get out of my house.
Kicked him out. And I'll just say, Ronnie being there, yes, he is obsessed with me, 100% obsessed with me. Do I think Ronnie's a bad guy? Absolutely not. And Sean, do I think he's a bad guy? Absolutely not.
Well, let's talk about whether he's a bad guy or not.
Okay.
You chased him out with a knife.
That was the most recent time.
That's
that
what
was
you
last
do
week.
with the good guys.
No.
You chased him out with a knife.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Tell me how that came about.
I wanted him to go. He didn't want to leave, and I was just standing there. It was like a little knife. I'm like, go, get out. And my kids weren't around or anything like that. But
he does take your children to school sometimes.
He has taken my daughter to school only a couple times.
And one of those times he professed to her how much he loved you.
And that's why he doesn't give her rides to school anymore.
Well, you just put your foot down there.
Yeah, yes.
Like, you can be a crazy, obsessed stalker and live with me, but you're not taking my daughter to school.
Correct, yeah.
You've got standards.
Yeah.
So you're asleep, and you think he got your thumbprint and put it on
my phone to unlock it. I'm not sure if he did. I cannot confirm that because obviously I was asleep. It's either that or he asked my son for my password.
Would you consider that a deal breaker?
Absolutely.
Okay,
He just did this. That was my reasoning of writing into you guys.
And he's gone through and he's canceled out text messages between you and certain men.
Yeah, and blocked them, and then deleted their message, and then went and
Would you
deleted
consider that a deal breaker?
Absolutely.
Would you consider that creepy?
Absolutely.
You said he's so unstable that you can't make eye contact with him because he'll take it the wrong way.
He tries to put emotion into everything.
You have a 6-year-old and a 12-year-old in your home with a man so unstable you can't look him in the eye for fear that he will take it wrong and go spinning off.
Yeah.
And he's living there at night, asleep, in the dark with your 12 and 6-year-old.
He is downstairs on the other side of the house.
Oh, well.
No, I know that's not okay, but my kids are upstairs way on the other side upstairs. Ronnie is downstairs, all the way in the back. I do sleep on my couch. I don't sleep in my room. I sleep on my couch. So it's not okay, but he has a 15-year-old son, and I'm not putting a 15-year-old son out in the street.
So you have divided loyalty. You're unclear as to where your responsibilities lie.
No, my responsibility is with my kids.
Well, apparently
100%.
not, because you say, I'm not putting his son out on the street, so that means I have to live with a, quote, crazy, obsessed stalker in my home with myself and my children. I will put my children at risk.
No, I kicked him out. Like, when he did that, I kicked him out.
Are you leading him on?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. There was an incident in late November, December. There was an incident, and I stopped it, and that was shame on Crystal.
Well, he says y'all have fooled around 20 or 30 times.
Yeah, that's not correct.
Okay. Let's meet this guy. Ronnie says he is not a stalker. In fact, he says, quote, 9 out of 10 women would kill for a guy like him. Well, we'll meet him after the break.
I treat Crystal like a damn princess. People at my work think she's my wife or girlfriend. I think we would make a super cute couple.
And later,
going through my phone is love.
I felt
Touching me when I ask you not to touch me is love.
Betrayed.
How many times have I told you that I did not like you like that?
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. Doctors saved her life.
She's got a pig heart valve and a pacemaker.
What will she do with her second chance?
I'm still getting high.
Our hearts are breaking, baby.
I know. In my heart, I'm just over it.
You're over it?
You use drugs today.
She's stealing money, breaking into cars, doing sexual favors.
She told me she wouldn't do that.
Where did you think she was getting the money?
That's tomorrow.
Crystal thinks I'm obsessed with her. The word obsession boils my blood. I treat Crystal like a damn princess.
Why would you want to be with somebody who doesn't have feelings towards you? Why would you want that?
I've told Crystal that people at my work think she's my wife or girlfriend. She flipped out on me and immediately made sure that I told them she was not my girlfriend. If I hear Crystal's ringtone go off, it bothers me. When I see her smiling at her phone, it bothers me. I instantly feel jealous. She thinks she deserves better and more attractive men than me. 9 out of 10 women would kill for a guy like me. I think we would make a super cute couple, like the couple from Flip or Flop. I think we all feel like a family, but my son told me that my obsession for Crystal has blinded me.
Well, Ronnie says he's tired of Crystal lying about their relationship. He says they have been intimate more than once, and she's only denying it because it's, quote, bad for her image.
Crystal denies the fact that we fooled around. Crystal and I have fooled around at least 20 to 30 times. Crystal and I had sex on December 6th. That day just burned into my mind.
In December, I was feeling frisky, I guess.
We were at bingo. She was touching my leg under the table. When we got home, we ended up having sex.
I only had sex for 1 second, and I stopped it.
Crystal has thrown out some very belittling words about my performance.
Ronnie thinks we made love, but we did not make love.
Even though we fooled around, I've never kissed Crystal on the lips. Crystal and I had the pretty woman moment. We'll have sex, but not kiss. Crystal told me that is too emotional.
Okay, good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So you're living in her house with your 16-year-old son?
Yes.
And her 2 children?
Yes.
And has she made it clear to you that she doesn't want you there?
Not there. She's made it clear she doesn't want to be with me as a boyfriend and girlfriend situation.
Right. But you don't accept that?
Well, it's not about accepting it. It's about getting the truth out there because I'm looking like an idiot to other people.
Well, let's get it out there.
Because the truth isn't out there.
Now, what is the truth? Let's get it out there.
Well, the truth is everything that we do is family-oriented. You know, I do everything for Crystal. I jump through every kind of hoop I can.
Right.
And I don't do it because I'm obsessed with her. I do it out of love.
Going through my phone is love.
I felt
Touching me when I ask you not to touch me is love. I felt like I was being betrayed. That's why I went through her phone.
You felt like you're being betrayed?
Yeah.
He has sabotaged every friend, every guy that I was interested in. How many times have I told you that I did not like you like that? And real quick, I do want to address the whole fooling around issue. Okay, this is what happened. And I'm going to say it in the nicest way. I have back issues. He was massaging my back, and it went a little further, and I stopped it. And what did I say to you? What did I say to you?
Are you okay with this? Can you handle it?
No. And then what I say? I said, you know what? I was feeling a little frisky, just so you know, it's not you.
It's like shaking a hand with somebody, you said.
I was not.
So who do you shake hands with when I'm at work?
Everybody.
What gives you the right to go through her phone?
I had no right, but in my mind, it settled what I needed.
How'd you get into her phone?
Your 6-year-old, he plays video games all day. And I said, this was very unintentional. I said, see if there's any games on my phone, because her phone was about to die. I handed him my phone, and he set her phone down, and he goes, no, there's no games on your phone. He picks her phone back up and typed her password in. That's how it happened, but little does she know.
So you manipulated a 6-year-old?
No, I already had her password from my son.
I'm single, and I could be with this person, I could be with that person or that one. And I'm not. I've been single for years. I haven't been with anybody in years. And even if I was, I'm allowed to do that.
In the back of my mind, and as a person, as a man, where she beats my self-esteem to the ground, first of all, she denies this stuff to my friends, to everybody, to make me look obsessed. Like, he went through my phone. Well, I had a reason for it. I'm not obsessed because I wanted an answer. And second of all, like, you deny it like it's nothing. But you're going to go do it with so-and-so that might have such and such, and I worry about that because I don't want such and such.
Whatever that such and such you're talking about, I don't like you like that.
What the hell is such and such?
I don't know. He said it. I don't know. But as a friend, and I've told you this, how many times have I told you this? I think you are a good person. Right. I do. I do not like you like that. Have I not told you that about 1,000 times?
Then why do we do it?
Do what? You're talking about the one time I freaking stalked you.
I don't want anybody in the audience doing such and such during the break. Coming up, Ronnie says he has brought Crystal closer to love, and she is scared. We'll ask him about that when we come back, and I'm still wondering how Pretty Woman got involved in this. We'll be right back.
I got the answer that I needed.
Well, that doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't make it okay.
That's like, did you rob the bank? Yes, but I did get the money.
Yeah.
And later, you were actually jealous of your son?
No, that's not okay. You don't say something like that to stop an argument.
Did you say it?
Yeah, I said it.
Monday on Dr. Phil.
The former NFL star and convicted murderer Aaron Hernandez found dead in a prison cell.
You've seen the shocking headlines. Now,
you were his fiance. Was he secretly gay?
For the first time ever.
How did you find out he, in fact, was dead?
Inform me.
Aaron Hernandez's fiance speaks out about his mysterious death.
I was the last person to speak with him.
Do you think this was a suicide or something else?
The exclusive interview.
Did he kill himself so you could collect $6.5 million?
That's Monday.
When it comes to Crystal...
When it comes to Ronnie...
These are the 3 things I love.
These are the 3 things that I hate.
1, Crystal is very consistent as a mother. She's a great mom.
Ronnie is not a man, and I want to feel protected.
Number 2, Crystal's very driven, and that brings my drive out too.
Ronnie doesn't understand that love is a 2-way street.
3, Crystal has pretty eyes and a fantastic ass.
I am not emotionally or physically attracted to Ronnie. It's just not there for me.
Well, Crystal says Ronnie's obsession is driving her crazy. She says the only reason she hasn't kicked him to the curb is because of his 16-year-old son, Sean, who she says Ronnie is neglecting. Take a look at this.
I have been putting up with Ronnie's behavior because of Sean. I'm not going to put a 16-year-old out on the street. Ronnie's obsession with me is definitely standing in the way of him having a relationship with his son.
I wasn't there for Sean as a dad for several years.
Sean will throw it in Ronnie's face that he was a deadbeat dad.
Sean has told me I'm a piece of and he calls me Ronnie, not Dad.
Sean is struggling in school. He gets in trouble a lot. Ronnie doesn't spend very much time with Sean, and when he does, he's usually thinking of me.
Sean has told me, Dad, I'm jealous of the attention you give Crystal. I've told Sean that love will mess you up more than drugs.
Okay, a few questions for you just so I can understand how everybody sees things, and this is for you, not for Crystal.
Right.
Are you and Crystal a couple?
No. I think there's some type of relationship there.
Okay. Have you and Crystal been intimate?
Yes.
On multiple occasions?
Yes.
Do you think there are boundaries that you have crossed that are inappropriate?
Very early on. We set those boundaries.
But
we weren't supposed
getting
to,
into her
did.
phone, is that inappropriate?
It was very inappropriate. I got the answer that I needed.
Well, that doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't make it okay.
That's like, did you rob the bank? Yes, but I did get the money.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. But on the back end of it, maybe I didn't need those answers for anybody else but myself.
What the hell does that mean? Are you there when she doesn't want you there?
I don't feel like I have been.
I have zero interest in having a relationship.
You have text replies to Ronnie's love here. On November 16 of 2016, Crystal, you say, I don't want you here. You need to go. Ronnie, I'm not leaving. Crystal, you need to get yourself some help. Crystal, I'll evict you. January 2017, Crystal, I don't understand why being friends, roommates, co-workers isn't enough. We weren't in a relationship. Usually that involves dating, kissing, holding hands, sex, sleeping together, passing out on the couch. Doesn't count. Ronnie, no response. February 2017, you say, I wouldn't date you. I'm not attracted to you. No way would I ever date you. I don't like you. Ronnie, no response. That doesn't
But he
seem,
says I love him.
That doesn't seem fuzzy to me.
I've said this the entire time. I don't want to call you my girlfriend. I want to know why you can't accept that there's a difference between sex and shaking hands, and there's a difference between giving away a wrong part of yourself to these guys. All they see is shaking hands. They don't see what I see in you.
She said, I don't want to be in a relationship with you.
It's about a choice to be there to continue to take care of her and her kids and my son, or just leave.
And you would rather he just leave?
No. She pulls me around to pay her bills.
Can I stop? No. Hold on. Can I answer this? I do want Ronnie to leave. I want him to get some help so you could be a dad, because now your son is being neglected because of this obsession you have for
speaking of your son, Ronnie's 16-year-old son, Sean, says his dad is acting crazy and constantly tells Crystal he loves her. So let's meet him after the break.
My dad and I don't talk at all. Crystal said she will never give in and she will never date my dad. Crystal does ask him to rub her back all the time. I think she's leading him on.
And later, did your dad accuse you of having an inappropriate relationship with Crystal?
To the friends who never back out. The ones who say hell yeah to happy hour. Always up for another round. TGI Fridays gives you endless abs. Forever. Always endless abs. $10.
If you or a loved one is suffering from heavy legs, painful varicose veins, spider veins, itching or burning in the legs, and non-healing leg wounds, don't delay your visit to USA Vein Clinics. Treatment takes only 15 minutes and is covered by Medicare and most insurance plans. Call USA Vein Clinics to get more information or to schedule your consultation with one of our leading vascular specialists. 617-977-3222.
To the friends who never back out. The ones who say hell yeah to happy hour. Always up for another round. TGI Fridays gives you endless abs. Forever. Always endless abs. $10.
Last night, Ronnie and I got into a fight.
Do you think I really felt ganged up on. There was a heated moment where all of us were acting crazy.
You have accused me of so many things.
Ronnie then went and accused Sean and I of sleeping together, which is absolutely disgusting.
Oh my God! Did you accuse me and Sean of coming at me?
It wasn't like I was accusing them. It was just stop it dead. And it did.
I don't know why Ronnie made the accusation. Oh, that makes me so mad.
You were actually jealous of your son's relation with her?
There was a heated argument, and I said, why are you guys both coming at me? What the hell is going on here between you two?
No, you accused me and a 16-year-old.
I didn't accuse you. I said that to stop the loudness.
That's
dude.
not okay. You don't say something like that to stop an argument.
What do you say?
You walk away. You shut up. But you don't sit there and say, are you guys shaking hands? That's not okay.
No?
Not okay.
Did he accuse you of having sex with his son?
Yes.
There was no accusing anybody of anything.
You said, are y'all two blanking?
But did you say it?
Yeah, I said it.
Okay, okay. Well, Sean says his dad is obsessive, crazy, and cares more about Crystal than him. Take a listen.
My dad acts crazy, telling Crystal that he loves her. I'm just sick of it. I was away from my dad 7 years. I always pictured me and my dad playing catch or going camping. My dad and I don't talk at all. My dad will drop anything for Crystal. My dad and Crystal fight a lot. My dad gets really upset when Crystal's on her phone and giggling. He always thinks she's talking to different guys. Crystal said she will never give in and she will never date my dad. Crystal does ask him to rub her back all the time. I think she's leading him on.
Okay, it's good to meet you.
Good to meet you, too.
I'm sorry you're in the middle of all this crossfire between these adults. You shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Did your dad accuse you of having a relationship with Crystal?
Yeah.
Inappropriate relationship with Crystal? Okay. So you think that he is so focused on her that it's at your expense?
Mm-hmm. Like I'm being abandoned in some ways, and that he has a chance now to fix it because he wasn't with me, and he's ruining his chance.
So you were with your mother for a number of years?
Yes.
Okay, and now you're with your dad?
Yes, sir.
And he's not paying attention to you because he's focused on her?
Yes, sir.
What do you think about that?
I see it plain as day. Even though, like, I've kind of lost focus on what I need to be because I've been focused on trying to figure Crystal out, he's still in a stable place. He's still okay. Like,
because I'm taking care of him.
Well, Sean, okay. you asked Ronnie, and you call him Ronnie, not Dad. You asked Ronnie for two things, right?
Yeah.
And what were they?
The first thing was to talk with me every 20 minutes every day, ask how my day was. Mm-hmm. Been practicing, been trying on that, but in my opinion, not hard enough, if I could say that. Right. And the second thing is to watch a movie, just sit down, just hang out and talk. And he's done that once.
So he's like 0 for 2 of the things you've asked for over a 10-month period. Crystal says her 12-year-old daughter can't stand Ronnie, calls him, quote, a stalker, and refuses to ride in a car with him. So why then is Crystal allowing him to live in their home? We'll be right back.
Okay, he had a $2,500 check, okay?
Don't care?
Okay, no.
Don't
he should have went and got a place, but what does he want to do?
Still don't care.
Okay, but I know.
Do I look like I care?
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
I've had open heart surgery. I'm still getting high.
She's stealing, breaking into cars.
She told me she wouldn't do that.
Where did you think she was getting the money?
That's tomorrow.
My kids do not like Ronnie. Sean and my kids have told Ronnie to stop staring at me, to stop touching me. One time, Ronnie gave my daughter a ride to school, telling her how he loved me and wanted to be with me.
I mentioned to her that I really like your mom and I don't know what to do with that. It got turned around that I said I wanted to marry her and that I love her.
She won't let Ronnie give her rides, and I can't blame her.
As much as this looks like a family, we can't say the word family in the household. We sit down for meals together, we plan things together, we go on vacations together. The only thing that really isn't normal is Crystal and I don't sleep in the same bed.
Well, I have a question for the audience here. Be honest about this. In terms of managing your own relationships, just maybe you run into somebody at church or at the mall and they're like a big talker. Do you have trouble managing that if somebody comes up to you and they start, yeah, and you don't know how to get away from it, it's awkward? If you have that trouble, raise your hand. See, a lot of people have trouble managing even that level of relationship. That's what's going on here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have some real fuzzy boundaries here. You say you don't understand. It isn't that you don't understand, you just don't like the answer. You understand it real clearly. Mm-hmm. You just don't like the answer. You say, I'm not obsessed with her. I'm treating her like a princess. Any woman would want that, but yet she doesn't. And then you say, well, we're financially intertwined. Ronnie signs his paychecks over to you.
It definitely did. When they first moved in, Sean had absolutely nothing. No clothes. I mean, they were homeless. I moved him in. First thing obviously was to get Sean situated. We got him a bedroom, got stuff. I'm 100%, we are married when it comes to finances. It has definitely gotten intertwined. 100% when it comes to finances.
Well, I'd say to that, like, you keep telling me to leave, and I don't want to be like, if I leave at this point, I look like I'm obsessed. I've lost friends over this because of what you've told them.
No, you lost friends over this.
Yeah.
You act like I'm sitting here calling everyone up talking about it.
I didn't talk to my friends one time during the whole thing. So you opened that conversation, you did your dirt, you closed it, all of it, and I still haven't got a phone call.
Whose house is this?
This is my house.
Okay, and you have children there.
That is correct. My kids are my priority. Do I think Ronnie's going to hurt my kids? Absolutely not. If I had any 1 ounce of that, yes, he is obsessed. But do I think he's going to kill me? I don't. Trust me, I have seen those crazy shows, and I know that stuff does happen.
You have.
I know, because you don't like that word.
Out to the world, obsessed.
You don't like that word. You refuse that word.
When you say text me and say I want a #2 from McDonald's with a folded egg and extra toasted, do I get that every day? Like, I know you pretty well.
You don't. You don't know me at all. And furthermore, Sean could vouch, we had asked you a series of questions about me. How many did you get right? How well did you know me? How many did you get right? Sean, you can answer it. Zero. How many did Sean get right?
All of them. Yeah.
And they weren't hard questions. You don't know me. You don't know my favorite color.
I don't think you know.
Oh, okay,
well,
you're right.
Crystal says she wants Ronnie out of her house. Sean wants Ronnie to forget about Crystal. So where does that leave Ronnie? Well, my thoughts on exactly what he should do when we come back. Well, I'm back with Crystal and Ronnie and Sean. There's a comma in there. I'm back with Crystal and Ronnie and Sean. You either thrive on drama and crisis,
okay,
or you just don't have a very clear view of what your job is.
I know what my job is. My job is to be a mom.
You have an undivided loyalty to your 2 children.
Absolutely.
And to move 2 males into your home
was not the smartest decision.
I can finish my sentences. I don't need your help. But if I do, I'll let you know.
Okay.
You're putting your children at 12 times the normal risk level by having non-biological males cohabiting in your home. Yeah. Now, that's just an epidemiological fact, and you're ignoring that by doing it. And you're saying, okay, I don't want to put him on the street. Well, you know what? That's his dad's job. He can get a home, they can live together, they can work on their relationship, they can form that. They don't need you, Mother Teresa, to come in and fix everything.
No, and I've told him that. How do I say this nicely? Okay, he had a $2,500 check, okay?
Don't care?
Okay, no.
Don't
he should have went and got a place, but what does he want to do?
Still don't care.
Okay, but I know, he doesn't do it though. He's like, I'm going to
Still don't
Arizona.
care?
I'm going to go buy clothes. I'm like, go get a place.
Don't care?
Still
don't care?
It's an idiot. Like, take care of your kid.
Do I look like I care?
No.
I'm not interested in the details here. This is a very simple solution. You don't want him in your home. Correct. Then make it very clear he needs to move out. If you have finances intertwined, you know what? Go down and get the bookkeeper in the strip mall, give them all the papers and have them work that out, and you guys can clear that up in about 5 minutes. Trust me, there's not enough money involved here to be a big quagmire.
No, definitely.
You owe it to your children to preserve their home and their relationship with their mother without all this drama. You need to accept the fact that there is not a romantic future for you here with this woman. She's just not interested.
Right.
And trust me, I think she has led you on, given you mixed messages and mixed signals. This isn't all you.
Right.
I think you at times give one message, at times give another. Both of you own this, and both of you can fix this. But you need to move out right now. You need to preserve your home for your girls. You need to set up a home for you and your son and do what he wants you to do. Hang out with your boy.
Right. We've had a blast this weekend, by the way.
This is a great time for you to spend time with him. Do it, and do it right now. Come on. This is a bunch of drama that's just not necessary. Cut it off. Respect her request. Do it. Do it. It's just that simple. All right, enough said. Coming up, the perfect advice for a stressed out mom, like this isn't one, another stressed out mom. We'll be right back.
Next Thursday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Jerry is throwing away my financial future with online dating scams.
She thinks her husband is being catfished.
I would sure like to meet you one day if we could do it without your wife finding out about it.
Dr. Phil has exposed online scams before, but wait till you see who's on the end of the line this time.
Hey, Jerry, this is Phillips. Hope you're having a great day. But to tell you the truth, this isn't Phillips. This is actually Phil.
Dr. Phil. And I plan on talking to you later.
That's next Thursday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
You know, our guests here on the Dr. Phil show sometimes have conflict with their mothers, but for the most part, people love their moms, right? So Mother's Day is a day to celebrate these amazing women in our lives. And as Robin always says, mothers often feel the need to put their families first. My next guest, Danny, is a perfect example. Danny and her husband, Kelly, have 3 young children, but Kelly works 7 days a week, leaving Danny with 99% of the parenting duties. And Danny says she's not complaining because she loves her time with her children. But she says at 30 years old, the stress of life has her aging faster than she wants. Take a look.
My attention goes to my family. There's not very much time for myself. I'm married to my husband, Kelly, and we have 3 kids. Raising 3 small children has been stressful. On a typical day, Carter gets up at 6, take the kids to school, Carter naps, do my housework, Carter gets up, then it's back to school to pick up the kids, and we have homework, dinner, bedtime, and it's time for me and Kelly. Then we start all over again. When my husband's home, he pitches in around the house, but he's so busy with work that that's rare. I'm seeing the signs of aging on my face because of my demanding life. I'm noticing with fine lines and wrinkles on my forehead, around my eyes and mouth. When I was younger, I didn't use sunscreen, and I was the girl that always had a tan. I'm only 30, and my skin is aging faster than I am.
Well, I hear being a mother can be stressful, but you can lighten the pressure by taking time for yourself, which is exactly what Robin decided to do right before Jordan joined our lives.
Yes, that's right. And I know, Danny, you two got married in your early 20s, just like Philip and I did. And when our youngest son, Jordan, was born, Jay was just 7 years old. In fact, here's a picture of us taking baby Jordan home from the hospital. I know every mother can be stressed. And also, we also feel a lot of guilt. Because we ask ourselves often, am I a good mother? Am I doing the right thing? I have to tell you, though, it goes by pretty quickly. And one day, before you know it, you're going to wake up and you're going to be, well, me, 63 years old. All of your children will be grown up with lives of their own, and hopefully you'll be a grandmother like me. My wish for you is that you make the decision I made when I was your age, and that is to put yourself first and to really believe it is not selfish to do that.
Yeah, this is where I get to give you some advice, because you guys have to make an appointment with yourselves. I mean, if you make appointments with other people, you keep them, right? You don't leave people hanging. Relationships are like gardens. If you don't tend them, they'll get swallowed up by the rest of your life. And that will happen to your life, particularly when you have kids. You have to do it.
That's exactly right. And if you don't make that decision to put yourself first and feel that it's not selfish, then there will be regret, because, you know, my mother did not do that. She put everyone first but herself. And I lost her when I was only 32 years old, and she was at the very young age of 58 years old. So I believe feeling good on the inside and looking good on the outside go together. And that is exactly why I created my new luxury skincare line, Robin McGraw Revelation.
And listen, I've seen the extensive research on this, because this is the lab right here. They've used the palette. And these products have gone all the way to the highest level of pharmaceutical ingredients you can get without a prescription. And since Danny said her skin is aging faster than she is, which of your products are best for her?
Well, I actually have bundled together 3 of my products that I feel work best together. I call it Be the Brightest One in the Room Trio, and it will bring new life to your skin. It contains Let There Be Bright, Twinkle Twinkle, You're a Star, and finally, Starlight, Face Bright.
To show you the results, we have someone that's been using Robin's Be the Brightest in the Room set, so I want you to meet the woman that's next to you. That's Linda. So she's been using these products for 2 months. Let's take a look at her before and after pictures. Take a look at this.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. So, how soon did you notice a difference?
Immediately. My skin felt smoother, my wrinkles were less defined, my skin's tighter, sunspots.
Yeah, I fill the tub with it and I just get in there.
Well, thank you, Linda. I'm so glad that you really like them. That thrills me. And Danny, I wanted you to feel good every day, not just on Mother's Day. So I'm giving you my entire trio of Be the Brightest One in the Room.
Yeah. And look, Robin wants everyone in the audience to feel good every day, too. So everyone in the audience is going home with their own Be the Brightest One in the Room trio.
Danny, also, one way I celebrate taking care of myself is with this special midi ring I designed. I call it my bow ring, and I wear it every single day. So I never forget how important it is to take care of myself. And I want you to never forget either. So I'm giving you a bow ring of your very own. So happy Mother's
Day. And in honor of Mother's Day, Robin has a special offer for everyone. Her bow ring is 50% off the entire month of May, only at RobinMcGrawRevelation.com. And now it's available for worldwide shipping.
That's right. And audience, I want you to celebrate being a mom or honor a mom in your life. So I'm also giving all of you here in the audience one of my bow rings.
Well, you can order any or all of Robin's 14 products in her luxury skincare line and her bow ring at RobinMcGrawRevelation.com.
And Danny and Kelly, we understand you never had a honeymoon when you married 9 years ago. Well, we thought that special trip is way overdue.
Yeah, so we're suckers for a happy time. So we're sending both of you to Jamaica. Okay? Home of all rights. But you're going to enjoy a tropical belated honeymoon in paradise at the redesigned Hilton Rose Hall Resort and Spa. You're going to have an all-inclusive 5-night stay at this exclusive oceanfront retreat that's nestled between the scenic mountains and the turquoise Caribbean waters of Jamaica. And it is absolutely great. And your two oldest children, 8-year-old Kennedy and 5-year-old Cameron, also think you're very special, and they have a message for you. Take a look.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. We love you.
And while you're taking that vacation, don't worry about the children, because Danny, we spoke to your mom, Cora, and she has already volunteered to babysit.
Have a wonderful delayed honeymoon. We want you to have a great time. Happy Mother's Day. We'll see you next time.
How much did you withhold from his pay?
He called me and threatened me, said it was illegal.
It is.
Judge Judy.
Today at 4 on WBZ Channel 4.
Y'all need to stop playing the victim.
Ratty. What makes you think you were entitled to somebody else's money?
Why not?
Selfish.
You pawned your mother's heirloom jewelry.
They were sentimental. They were ugly.
And uncaring.
You shove a fish sandwich in your mother's mouth?
I threw a pizza at her, too.
She says mom's to blame.
What do you think about your behavior?
She had sex. She had a kid. She grew me up, didn't she? Then it's her fault.
But she's the one who's blown
130 grand. If I give you this check, hit the reset button and start over, that would get you out of debt.
Yeah.
Well, that ain't happening. Okay. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
Thank you very much. Well. 19-year-old Sherilyn admits to spending tens of thousands of dollars on designer shoes, handbags, purses, clothes, makeup, pampering, you name it. She insists on fine dining, fast cars, and her boyfriend footing the bill. She says, why not? It's what I'm accustomed to. So what's the problem? Well, her mom, Joey, says that Sherilyn is spoiled, selfish, entitled, and unemployed. Joey claims her daughter has blown over $130,000 in 4 years, and her spending has left a trail of devastation. She says her daughter has pawned over $7,000 of family heirlooms, opened up over 17 credit cards, stolen her mother's identity, blown $100,000 of her boyfriend Tyler's money, and is now in debt to the tune of $25,000. Now, I wanted to find out more, so I sent Rosie Mercado, special correspondent for the Emmy Award-winning show The Doctors, on a fact-finding mission. Let's see what happened when Rosie met Joey. Take a look.
Joey, let's talk about your daughter, Sherilyn.
She was given a nice childhood. You know, she always had nice things. Her father would buy her all these nice school clothes.
And you would never tell her no?
No. If I did tell her no, she would harass me. It was easier for me to give in than to deal.
Was she bratty when she was a child?
I didn't pay attention to it, and I thought the older she got that, you know, this is a behavior that she would grow out of, but she's 19 years old. I describe Sherilyn as being spoiled, manipulative, very bratty, very bitchy, and very entitled. She feels she has to have nice handbags, nice clothes.
This goes even into food. She will not have fast food.
She wants to go to nice restaurants and fine dine.
How far has your daughter Sherilyn's entitlement gone? I mean, she got her license. Her dad bought her a car.
Yes, it was her 17th birthday gift.
What kind of car was it?
It was a Ford Focus.
And she didn't want to be seen in it?
No, she would not drive the car. And I bought her home a BMW for her 18th birthday. That car became not good enough just within a matter of a couple of weeks. It wasn't a Mercedes.
Look at this car, though. Oh, Jesus. It has the navigation, backup camera.
I'm not buying you another car, Cheryl.
Why?
So it seems like your daughter's never happy with what she has.
It's never enough. Very ungrateful.
What is she spending her money on?
It could be anything from high-end handbags, makeup, clothes.
The last shopping spree she had, how much money did she spend?
That was like $3,700.
How many credit cards?
Over 17. She'll get a card, max it out, and not even make a payment. She gets money from her boyfriend, Tyler. She gets money from me. She gets money from her father.
How much money has she been given?
I know at least over $100,000.
That's a lot of money. Some of the things that your daughter has done to get money is to pawn family heirlooms.
She's pawned my grandmother's wedding band. That was very sentimental to me.
Do you feel that she has a gambling problem?
Very big gambling problem. Sherilyn used my Social Security number.
For what?
To open up a gambling account online.
How much money is she gambling online?
A lot.
And if she doesn't get what she wants?
She'll curse at me, call me names, call me whore, crackhead. She'll tell me to go kill myself. I do everything for Sherilyn, you know. I clean house for her. I still wash her clothes.
Do you ever think that this would ever get out of control this much?
She doesn't get it. She doesn't care. I can't keep doing what I've been doing. There's got to be a stopping point.
When you see this played back on video, what's your reaction to it?
It breaks my heart.
Are you parenting from guilt here?
Maybe somewhat. You know, I didn't have my mother growing up, and so, you know, that's always been something, you know, when I have my child, you know, I'm gonna do this. I just thought that she would be more appreciative, you know.
But this is insanity of the highest order. I've gone through this, and I thought when you saw this on videotape that it would be like a big slap in the face here. You guys bought her a Ford Focus, and she wouldn't be seen in it.
No.
Okay, now tell me what goes through a parent's mind. You buy a child a car.
First car.
And she won't be seen in it. So you did what?
I purchased her a Nissan Infiniti.
Okay, so you go buy her an upscale car, an Infiniti.
And then that wasn't good enough. So we got rid of that, and then I bought her, for her 18th birthday, I came home with a BMW.
Okay, she said, this I'll drive, but I'd rather have a Mercedes.
Right, it's still not good enough. Yeah, I realize now nothing's ever going to be good enough.
But did it ever occur to you then say, well, okay, tell you what, let me have those BMW keys back, and you just hit the bricks. You just go walk, and then you buy your own damn car.
Yeah. That's crossed my mind, but, you know, then there I'd be left fighting with her and
oh, well, let's not
arguing,
upset her.
And I know.
Let's not upset her, right?
I know. It's been crazy. I know.
Now, she stole your Social Security number.
Yes.
Stole your identity.
Yes.
And opened up a bunch of accounts and that sort of thing. I wrote down in my book the paragraph about that. What did I write down?
Crime.
That's a crime.
Yeah.
What happened at McDonald's?
She shoved a fish sandwich in my face. She said, are you finished eating? And pushed the sandwich in my face.
She threw a pizza box at your head.
Oh, yeah.
She threatened to kill you.
Yeah.
Because you don't give her enough.
Right, or tells me to go kill myself.
Okay, great. Now, she has accumulated quite a lot of stuff, right?
Yes.
I made a list. 189 lipsticks, 110 brushes, 56 bronzers, 54 nail polishes, 52 eyeshadow palettes, 31 eyeliners and mascaras, 26 foundations, 26 pairs of shoes, including designer shoes, 13 perfumes, 10 designer handbags, all of which she earned how much money to buy?
She gets money from me, from her father, from Tyler.
Are you not just outraged over this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I am.
Would you yell fire if you were on fire?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
Because I asked you, are you outraged about this? Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, yeah. I've got a lot of different feelings on it, you know. It's hurtful. It's devastating. I'm angry, yeah. You know, that my child behaves, it's embarrassing.
Well, Sherilyn says that there's only one person to blame for her spoiled, entitled behavior. She says that's her mother, Joey. Well, I want to talk to Sherilyn. We'll talk to her after the break.
I have exactly 17 credit cards, and I'm $25,300 in debt. I just like going out and to be able to buy what I want makes me happy. I like BMWs, Mercedes, and like Range Rovers. I just prefer the Mercedes because I like the way they look and they're really cute. I want a baby blue one with ivory interior, convertible, of course, hard top.
You coming to see the Mercedes?
I wish it was a convertible, but this one's so pretty. Do y'all have any convertibles?
Well, Joey says her spoiled and entitled 19-year-old daughter, Sherilyn, has blown $130,000, $130,000 living the high life with fast cars, designer bags, clothes, makeup, fine dining, the list goes on. But Sherilyn says it's not her fault because her lazy, moody, and mean mother raised her to be that way. This is what happened when Rosie Mercado, special correspondent for the doctors, met up with Sherilyn. Take a look.
Hi, Sherilyn. I've heard so much about you from your mom.
How are you doing today?
Nice to meet you. I've heard you like to shop.
I'm young, I love to shop, I love to go out, I love to buy nice things. I mean, I get whatever I want.
You have 189 lipsticks. This is just a small piece. How many lipsticks do you actually use?
Not really that many.
How many brushes do you have here?
About 110.
And how many of these brushes do you actually use?
Probably about 10 or 15 brushes.
Do you think that you're spoiled?
I think I'm spoiled.
Do you blame your mom for that?
I mean, I blame her because growing up, I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to clean my room, didn't have to do my laundry, I didn't have any chores. I was never disciplined.
Do you appreciate any of the sacrifices that your mom made for you?
No.
You don't?
No.
You have makeup here, makeup there. You have nail polishes and you have perfumes.
Blushes, bronzers, highlighters.
Accessories, purses, designer shoes. What happens when you ask your boyfriend Tyler for money and he says no?
I start yelling, screaming, throwing things.
How many credit cards do you have?
17.
And do you owe money on all 17?
All of them are maxed out completely.
Do you pay any of those credit cards
No.
when the bills come in? What do you do with the bills?
I just throw them away.
You've gone as far as pawning family heirlooms when it comes to your mom.
I mean, I do, but I don't really care.
What have you pawned from your mom?
Took her jewelry from her and I went to the pawn shop and pawned.
You took her jewelry or you stole her jewelry?
Stole it.
And how much money did you get for that?
Only about $300 per ring.
And how much was that worth to your mom?
Priceless.
You went to Disney World, it's like the happiest place on earth. And you were upset because you didn't get fine dining.
Correct. Yeah, my mom was eating a fish fillet and I pushed it in her face.
On your 18th birthday, you got a BMW gifted to you by your parents.
Correct.
Were you excited about it? Were you happy about it?
I was happy about it, but I would have preferred a Mercedes over it.
You don't feel like your mom and Tyler, they're just fed up of seeing you spend money?
I don't really care.
Okay, you've been watching the show so far, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about your behavior as it's played back to you?
I don't know. She needs to stop playing the victim. Why is she like, why are you crying right now?
I'm not crying.
She had sex. She had a kid. Like, she grew me up, didn't she?
Yeah.
Then it's her fault.
So you have no ownership in any of this?
I didn't steal her identity. She gave me her social.
Do you have 17 credit cards and you said you just throw the bills away when they come in?
Yeah.
That's theft.
Oh, okay.
What makes you think you are entitled to use somebody else's money?
Why not?
So you're just a criminal they haven't caught yet?
I guess.
Okay, well, that's nice because you're on national television right now and you're confessing to these crimes. And you say she's playing the victim because she's let you get away with this, right?
She's crying right now for no reason.
So you shove a fish sandwich in your mother's mouth?
I mean, I threw a pizza at her, too.
Tell me how that's flattering to you.
I mean, she should have ate faster.
It's eaten, not ate. Did you sell your 5th grade grammar book? Well, so right now, your current debt, you have $20,493 in outstanding on closed credit cards, $3,139 outstanding on open credit cards, $1,347 overdrawn at the bank.
Oh, y'all researched me. That's cute.
That's a total of $24,979.22.
That's not that much.
So do you have it to pay?
No. I could go get a job, and I can pay all this off.
Uh-huh.
It's not that much.
Why do you think you did that?
Because I could.
Yeah. But if you had a second chance, you would do better.
Probably, yes.
When they bought you a Ford Focus, why was that not okay?
It was ugly.
It was a gift.
It's an ugly gift.
So they replaced it with an Infinity.
Yes.
That wasn't okay either.
It was old.
And you pawned your mother's heirloom jewelry.
Correct. They were ugly.
They weren't
very
yours.
Sentimental.
What?
They were very sentimental. My mother's wedding band set that I had admired since I was a little girl.
She's wearing my earrings right now.
No, she lost these in the pawn shop. I went to the pawn shop and purchased them out of the case, and I wear them now.
So... So, if I have here a check from the Dr. Phil Show on City Trust and Savings Bank for $24,979.22, your total indebtedness. If I give you this check to hit the reset button and start over,
I would go to school.
you would go to school.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would get you out of debt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that ain't happening. Sherilyn says she'd rather live off her boyfriend Tyler than work. Maybe he'll give her this check. He has given her over $100 grand and says he's now ready to freeze the funds and the relationship. We'll meet him next.
Sherilyn's boyfriend. Tyler and I kind of keep our distance.
You let Tyler move in with you. Do you have a good relationship with him?
He's been disrespectful to me. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't help around the house. He doesn't pay any bills. He's just an enabler, and he's given Sherilyn all of his money. I regret letting him live here for so long.
Sherilyn takes everything that I earn. In the 4 years that I've been with Sherilyn, I've at least given her $100,000. I have taken out several loans for Sherilyn to help pay for the bills that never got paid. I blame Joey. She never disciplined Sherilyn. I blame her for not teaching Sherilyn the value of $1. I'm sick of being broke. At this point, I don't even know if it's going to work with us.
Joey says her 19-year-old daughter, Sherilyn, extorted over $100,000 from her boyfriend, Tyler, to fund her extravagant lifestyle, her gambling, and her love of anything and everything that's luxury, high-end, and designer. However, Sherilyn says she only took 40 grand. Whatever the number, Tyler says his girlfriend has wiped him out emotionally and financially. Now, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Why did you allow her to take you to the cleaners financially?
When she asked me for the money, we had a little bit to spare to go out and do some things, to go out and eat and do all that. But it got to the point where it was becoming every day. And every day she wanted to go out and do something, and we couldn't afford it. Mm-hmm. So if I ever told her that we weren't able to go out and do anything, she would get mad and upset and threaten to go out and do something on her own and spend more money that she couldn't even get her hands on.
Y'all need to stop playing victims over here.
You need to be quiet.
I don't have access to your account. I don't have access to your account.
You say you don't have access to my account, but yet whenever I go to sleep at night, you go in my wallet and take my cards out and put them in your phone. I would have bank statements showing all the account money that's been transferred out of my bank account into her PayPal so that she could purchase stuff on the internet.
What would it mean to you if you had that money back right now?
I would probably have my own house right now. I'd have my car paid off.
Do you hear her saying she not only is not appreciative of it, she blames you for it? Just quit playing the victim. Quit playing the victim.
I blame myself for it, too. I mean, I should have never gave her the money in the first place. But I did it out of love, and I cared. I cared too much.
We trusted you.
There's a fundamental truth in life. You simply don't reward bad behavior. You don't reward bad behavior. It's a fundamental truth. Whether you're dealing with a 2-year-old, a 20-year-old, a 40-year-old, you don't reward bad behavior. Behavior that is rewarded tends to repeat. Behavior that is not rewarded tends not to repeat. You have rewarded bad behavior. That's her argument. Her argument is saying, hey, it's not me. They've shaped me into being a lying, exploitive criminal. Because people do what works. They do what works. 2 nights ago, Sherilyn traveled to the gambling mecca of the world, Las Vegas. Now, Sherilyn was expecting glitz and glam, but things didn't go quite as planned. More will be revealed about that night when we finally meet Rosie. Next.
We're gonna do a little bit of math right now. Just in brushes, designer palettes, and lipsticks, you have $11,000 just in cosmetics sitting there. How many designer purses do you have?
About 12.
And then what about designer shoes?
About 20 pairs.
Just in designer shoes, accessories, purses, and cosmetics total, you have over $44,000 sitting in your room. What if today Tyler stops giving you money, your mom stops giving you money? What would you do?
Probably be very depressed. And I think I'd end up homeless at the end.
Let me formally introduce you to the popular social media personality, model and mother, Rosie Mercado.
I'm raw, real, and relatable. Right here we have boiled nopales. Growing up in a Latino household, Spanish was my first language. A lot of the kids would make fun of me because I didn't pronounce certain words in English properly. My weight has always been a struggle. I was a size 14, 16 in high school. As a young girl, I was not only bullied for being Latina, I was bullied for being overweight. I felt like I was out of place. I took my emotions out on food. I always had dreams of being a model. I actually got my start behind the camera as a makeup artist. One day, the photographer looks at me, you do have a great face. What we're going to do is we're going to take pictures of your face only because you're way too big. You're 420 pounds. The pictures went viral. I had huge agencies contact me. They thought it was a fat body photoshopped into a thin face. Becoming a plus-size model was amazing. I've been in London, in Paris, in Germany, in the US, walking runways. I got to a point where I was way too plus size. I was 420 pounds, and my hips were like over 80 inches. Being that heavy, I felt numb. A few years ago, I was taking a flight to New York. This guy runs up to me and says, you can't get on the plane. If you want to get on, you need to buy a second seat. And I remember hearing like, and other people laughing and just staring at me. I just started crying. That changed my life forever. In 2 years, I lost 240 pounds. I felt better than I ever did. The plus-size community shamed me. I'm a sellout because I lost all that weight. I could go jump a bridge and kill myself. I got big hips, I'm curvy, I'm a size 14, and I'm living life, and I'm doing everything that I never could, so I embrace it. At the moment, I'm 180 pounds. I love the woman that I have become. I'm so lucky that I get to connect with so many people on different levels. I appear regularly on The Doctors where I have the opportunity to inspire others. I love to see breakthroughs. She did the work, and the results are there. I live for those moments of transformation. I cannot believe I'm sitting here. I'm so honored and excited to have this opportunity to be able to work with Dr. Phil and his show. People have told me that I've broken lots of barriers. My response is, Cuidado. Watch out, because I'm just getting started.
Part of Rosie's special assignment was to join Sherilyn for a girls' night out in Las Vegas. But everything is not always what it appears.
Hey. Hey. I have a surprise for you. What? I'm going to take you to Las Vegas for a Vegas girls' night out. Pack your bags. This is going to be an adventure you're never going to forget. Okay. Bye. Bye. It's time.
It's all glittery and lit up.
There's a beautiful Louis Vuitton store right there.
Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous.
What do you think of Vegas so far?
I like it a lot. Wait,
ready? Follow me.
You said that one of your biggest fears was what would happen if you ended up on the streets. And tonight, I just bring you out to the streets so you can see the reality of what happens out here. We're going to thank the limo driver, and then he's going to go out. We'll stay here.
Wait, what?
Hi, how are you?
All right, and yourself?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I'm scared. I don't know what that is in that cup. I don't want to know.
What's in the cups?
That was chili.
That was chili?
You were grossed out and you're like, what is that? That's someone's meal. That could be the only meal that they have for the day. You gotta tell me what you're thinking.
I want to go home. I miss my mom.
People built tents of whatever they can get. There's someone in there. What does it smell like?
Poverty.
Can I have a seat?
No.
Why won't you have a seat?
People might have urinated on that. I hate it here. It disgusts me. There's like trash everywhere. It's dirty. I don't like it. Excuse me.
You said you were up for this adventure, so let's go. We're gonna walk that direction.
I don't want to walk that way. It's not safe.
Well, if that was Sherilyn's attitude at the beginning of the night, let's see what happened when she saw where she would be spending the night. Trust me, it was not 5-star.
All right.
Waiting for a fight to break out. Waiting for someone to shoot.
Hello.
Hi.
What are you doing?
I don't know, being homeless. Send me the card information.
Why?
Where I could go get somewhere to stay.
I'm not giving you my card information. Just sit in a spot and just stay there.
Hey. Hey. And I'm sitting on the side of a road in a sleeping bag.
Oh, in a sleeping bag.
Does it make you happy, mad? What?
Oh, I would be devastated.
No, not. Oh my gosh, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're like a straight up idiot.
Girl, you are in a sleeping bag on the side of the street and you called your mom an idiot.
I don't want to do this. I want to shower. I'm not staying out here. It's too cold. And I want to go home.
Okay, but how are you gonna get home from here?
I'll go get an Uber. I'll go to the hotel, grab my bag, and go to the airport.
They're gonna tell your mom that you didn't go through with this? And
yeah, I don't care. I'm selfish. I'm leaving. Screw it.
Sherilyn, once you cross the street, it's gonna get more dangerous.
Okay, great.
Are you sure you want to walk down that way?
I don't care.
Is that good? Yeah. All right. Give me just 5 words of how you would describe what happened throughout the night.
I don't know. It was cool and felt lonely.
If you were talking to one of your friends and you would describe this experience, how would you describe it to them?
Miserable. The night was miserable.
Well, Rosie joins us next, and there was even more that was going on that our cameras didn't catch. We'll be right back. Rosie gave Sherilyn a taste of what it would be like to be homeless when they spent a night on the streets of Vegas. What did you see out there that the cameras didn't catch? Let's go further.
Well, you know what? It's interesting, Dr. Phil, to see the transformation. At the beginning, it's the shock factor. Are we really doing this? And then to sit there and say, okay, well, we're going through the motions. And she goes in, and there's a part where she says, you know, I miss my mom, and I regret telling her to go kill herself. And then as the night progresses, you see her really, the manipulative side to start coming out. You see the negative response, the brattiness come out. She's sitting on the streets on her phone looking at Louis Vuitton bags, transferring money from PayPal. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, Sherilyn, you do not understand what we're doing out here. You don't get it.
She was shopping.
She was shopping.
I know how to get rid of the problem. Sell the car, throw all the makeup in the dumpster, throw all the jewelry, all the bags away. Just leave her a pair of pants and a shirt and give her a notebook to go to school.
Can I say something?
Yeah. Well, let me hear what Mom has to say first. What do you think needs to happen here?
I don't think to that extreme. You know,
I do.
What Tyler just said, I mean, I'm not going to throw, you know, valuable things away. Maybe would send it to donate.
You can't preach to her. She's just going to push this back on you. What you can do is control what you do. And Tyler is quite right. I tell you what, at an absolute drop-dead minimum, the stuff that you have purchased, the two of you should take that stuff and absolutely liquidate it before the end of the week. You should put it on eBay, you should give it away, you should do whatever, and you should take that money and you should pay it against the debt that she has incurred and liquidate that debt. She blames you, she says it's all on you, then you need to fix it. And this is commando parenting. And if she steals from you, you need to call the police and let her spend some time in jail. You have to be willing to do commando parenting here. Are you willing to liquidate everything?
A good bit. A good bit of it.
Okay.
All of it.
That's all I can say. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Rosie, special correspondent for the doctors. Speaking of the doctors, Travis is here too. We're going to team up to help one woman who says, as hard as she tries to get bikini beach ready, there is one person standing in her way, her grandmother. Next. Well, now that summer is just a few months away, it's time to try and hit the beach in that bikini. Now, Ashley is a mother of two and lives at home with her husband and two small children, ages 5 and 1. But after her grandmother Ann, or Nana as she calls her, became sick, she decided to move her in with the whole family. The problem is, Ashley, who had lost 70 pounds, says she's now gaining weight back. And why? Well, she blames it on Nana, loving her with food, and really good food. Take a look.
A couple months ago, my grandma Ann, AKA Nana, moved in, and she's making me so fat with the food she's cooking. I have struggled so badly to lose weight since my first child 6 years ago. At one point, I got up to 240 pounds. By 2015, I lost a bunch of weight, and I got down to 169 pounds. And I now weigh 177 pounds. I blame my Nana for why I gained weight this time around. I'm about to kick her out.
My granddaughter, Ashley's blaming me for making her fat. I'm not the one making her eat. I make delicious Southern comfort foods.
You're making a blueberry cobbler right now.
This is the batter.
For breakfast, she'll make biscuits and gravy, liver mush, eggs and cheese, and some grits.
I usually make fried chicken, ham, biscuits, and my famous tater salad.
She makes her tater salad with a whole jar of mayonnaise in it. She swears up and down that she does it, but don't you let her tell you otherwise.
Ashley loves what I cook, and she eats it. I'm not making her fat. She is.
Okay. I feel at home right away because you're the first person I've encountered this season that says grits with 2 syllables.
Yes.
So you're from the South, no doubt.
Yeah, honey, we're from the deep South.
Hell yes. Well, I know somebody who I think might be able to point Ashley and Ann in a healthier direction. And that is my good friend, Travis Stork. He is the host of the Emmy Award-winning show, The Doctors. So, Travis, good to see you.
Thanks for having me, as always.
Well, we have fun when you're here, right?
We do.
Travis has written a book out in bookstores now, and it's titled The Lose Your Belly Diet, Change Your Gut, and Change Your Life. And this book is published by Ghost Mountain Books, which is owned by my son, Jay McGraw.
I grew up in the Midwest. I live in the South. And so I am constantly surrounded by mixed messages. So I always say when I host the doctors, I have to practice what I preach. And I also appreciate how good home cooking can be. But what I always teach people now is that home cooking can be really good and really good for you.
Do you think you love her with food?
Yes, definitely.
You really do have to understand that you're not loving her, you're actually sabotaging her.
See, what did I tell you?
Well, you love my tater salad.
Well, I can't help it, honey. If you put it on the table, I mean that.
All right, well, Travis, look at this recipe for Nana's tater salad. And this will not be on the website, by the way. So if you want to write it down, you better grab a pen because I ain't publishing this. Ingredients, 5-pound bag of potatoes, 6 boiled eggs, 3 to 4 heaping tablespoons of mayonnaise.
Now, that's a lie. She uses a whole jar of mayonnaise. A whole jar of mayonnaise.
Okay, what's the truth? What's the truth?
Here.
No, don't let her lie.
If it's a whole jar, it's a pint jar, not a quart.
No, it's a whole jar of mayonnaise.
A half a pint jar of sweet relish, a dash of salt and pepper, because we don't want to be extravagant.
She makes this at least 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay, I'm going to take a break. When we come back, Travis is going to tell you what you can swap out in that tater salad that makes it healthier. And I'm going to talk to you about redefining love and support for her. We'll be right back. Emmy Award-winning host of The Doctors and my personal friend, Dr. Travis Stork, is joining me today to talk about his new book, a New York Times bestseller, The Lose Your Belly Diet, Change Your Gut, Change Your Life.
If you go on the wrong kind of diet, where it's all about deprivation, you're going to fail. And in this book, I have a lot of recipes where it's substitution, not deprivation. Taking the foods you love, changing, Nana, it's going to take a commitment from you, changing the way you prepare them so that from time to time, you have your famous tater salad as a treat and all the famous fried foods that you're known for as treats, but your day-to-day life is now going to be dictated by foods that taste good, that you're going to prepare slightly differently.
For example, instead of eating fried chicken, eat grilled chicken. Instead of eating tater salad, eat spinach and egg salad. Instead of eating mayonnaise, eat Greek yogurt. Instead of eating biscuits, eat whole grain sprouted rolls. Instead of eating blueberry cobbler, eat blueberries with yogurt. Now, tell me what I need to tell you to get you to change your value system so you love her the way Travis wants you to love her.
I just need to change my lifestyle and my way of cooking and try different recipes, definitely.
You don't want to be tripping her up.
No, maybe we can do it together and I can lose some weight too. Because you see, I'm not.
Yeah, I
love hearing that. It's a new way of eating, but when you eat for yourself, you're not just eating for your own nourishment. Now we know you're also eating for the nourishment of these 100 trillion gut bacteria that help you lose weight. I drew this while I was writing the book. The guy on the left, that's a happy little buddy. He's gonna help you lose weight, feel better. The guy on the right, he's an evil guy. Yeah. Too many of us have the evil guy bacteria hanging out in our guts, but if you start changing your diet within 2 to 3 days, you can start to build up the good little buddies. And I'm telling you.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, I want the happy buddy.
You do, and what's crazy is once you do that, you feel better, you lose weight, but also what's amazing is in terms of longevity, you're potentially going to prolong your life as well.
We're out of time. Look, I would like to thank all of my guests, and a special thanks to the host of The Doctors, Dr. Travis Stork. He is author of The Lose Your Belly Diet, Change Your Gut, Change Your Life. Please go and get your copy today at bookstores everywhere, or you may go to thebooknook.com. And I will give you a book, and I'll bet you Travis will sign it backstage.
Happy to, of course.
And that will get you off and running. And oh, by the way, everybody in the audience is going home with a copy. All right? We'll see you next time. Kevin, thanks.